about the scale of the epidemic. Police are investigating claims that someone's firing a BB gun at the windows of houses on a road in Birmingham. They're looking at CCTV pictures from Coldbath Road in Billesley. They want anyone who knows anything to contact the police in Stetchford. Now, residents at a care home in the Black Country have been moved to alternative accommodation after the company which operates it went into administration. Elysian Care Limited, which ran Knoll House in Wolverhampton, had been suffering serious financial difficulties. Its other facility, the Homestead in Stourbridge, is being kept open by administrators. That's until residents can find another home. And it might only be October, but the gritters will be out in Walsall today. The council stockpiled 3,000 tonnes of salt at its depot in Brownhills, ready for winter. Today is a trial run, and it's known as Operation Snowfall. Well, as always, on a Saturday, it's a big day of football, and you can keep across all the action here on BBC WM 95.6. In the Premier League, Villa go to Everton without Fabian Delph, who's out until the new year. The former Leeds man will require surgery on a dislocated shoulder after a fall at the training ground. It means he could miss the next 12 league games for Villa, as well as the Euro 2016 qualifiers against Switzerland and Estonia. Delph will have an operation on Tuesday. We'll have updates from Goodison Park this afternoon. In the Championship, Wolverhampton Wanderers trip to Millwall. That'll be live here on BBC WM 95.6 this afternoon. Head coach Kenny Jackett's returning to his former club for the first time since coming to Molineux 2 summers ago. He's not entirely sure what reception he'll get from the Millwall faithful.
Well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to the game. Seeing a lot of people there that I haven't seen since I've left 2 summers ago now, and time moves on very quickly, so I'm looking forward to going back and then after that, as everybody at Millwall will be, really concentrating on trying to do our best and set our week off with a positive result.
Blues will be looking to build on the 4 points they picked up from their last 2 away trips as they host Bolton at St Andrews this afternoon. There'll be commentary on BBC WM DAB in Birmingham from 3. Bolton currently bottom of the Championship, but they will have new manager Neil Lennon in charge for the first time. And in League One today, Walsall face at bottom of the table opposition Crewe Alexandra visiting the Banks's Stadium. West Brom, meanwhile, they're not in action until Monday night when they're at home to Man United. Another game you can hear live here on BBC WM. And the weather then, any rain clearing to leave a dry and sunny day, highs of 19 Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit, dry and mild tonight with lows of 13 Celsius, 55 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow, dry and sunny with highs 17 Celsius, 63 Fahrenheit. BBC WM 95.6 News and Sport. There's more online at bbc.co.uk/WM.
Chris.
Ian.
Delivered masterfully. Because this morning you've been on fire. How do you do it? How do I do what? You've been on fire this morning.
Do you think?
Yeah, totally.
That means a lot.
You've been enjoying the bants in the office. You've been brilliant on Molly's show. You've upped your game for this show, which is appreciated. What's going on?
My hula hooping was... can I go and have a go now?
Go.
Yours is unrivaled.
Go and touch my hoop and see what you can do with it. Good lads.
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
You should take in other religions and treat them as you would want to be treated yourself.
We are even more intelligent. They treated me with the utmost respect.
Iain Lee, Saturdays
9 till 12.
BBC WM 95.6.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC WM 95.6. Chris has reminded me of something that's been on my mind literally for the last 15 minutes. Where the hell do hula hoops come from? I'm going to guess Hawaii 1950s. That's a complete guess. Hula hoop, it sounds vaguely Hawaiian, doesn't it? And it looks like the sort of thing that would catch on in America in the 19th. We found a hula hoop in the office. If you want to see me using it, facebook.com/BBCWM. I look good. I've still got it. You wouldn't believe I'm 41 years old. Yeah, I'm wearing double denim. It doesn't matter. It's not quite a denim shirt, but it's... Today we delve into the history of the hula hoop. Who, why, what, where and indeed when. 03453 009956. Other stuff? Isn't it time we just let pandas die? Huh? Pandas, seriously? Oh, but they're so cute. And but they don't have it away and they don't eat. So what's the point of pandas? 03453 009956. If you've turned your heating on now, where are we? Is it the 18th of October? You are a great big wuss. Put a jumper on. Go and have a jog around the living room. I caught my wife putting the heating on. No! You will turn that off. We are not putting the heating on until at least the second week of November. Seriously, that's what cardigans and slippers are made for. Oh, I bought a new pair of slippers in the week. 17 quid, Marks and Spencer's, beautiful. What's the obsession with getting fake tans? I don't get the fake tans. There's a lady in the newspapers, and we don't judge people by their looks, but flipping heck, she looks rough. She does. She's getting, like, fake tans all the time. I don't get it. You know you look like you've been tangoed, right? You know that, don't you? You can spot a fake tan a mile off. Oh, and there's some stuff about paedophiles as well. Light and shade this morning, dear listener. If you want to give me a call, now would be an excellent time to do it. 03453 009956.
Have your say.
Across the West Midlands, call
03453
009956.
BBC WM
95.6.
Could you do me a favour, dear listener? I think our phone lines might be down. Would you be able to just give us a quick call, just to make sure they're working? 03453 009956. Because if they're not working, I might as well just play records all morning. I've got me... there's one. There's two. Put them through. There's two calls. Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I had a bit of my producer. I could get her 2 phone calls in the first 5 minutes. Put them through. Dot and Dave are calling. Let's have a word with them. And Teresa, look. Oh, bless you. You see, the BBC, it's not mine. It's not Molly's. It's partly Danny Kelly's. He did some deal. I don't know what that's about. But it's your BBC, dear listener, and I'm glad you're taking an active part in its rehabilitation. Busy show this morning. Got some serious stuff. Some kind of grown-up stuff that I'm going to go into after 1:15. It seems a little bit inappropriate after such a flippant opening. But, as always with this show, and we get new listeners every week, you can call in about anything you want, OK? I'm going to throw this stuff out at you, and we'll go through the papers as well later. I'm going to throw this stuff out at you, but you can call in about that, or you can call in about anything you want. Like if you want to have a chat, if you're a bit bored, if your name's Dave in Oldbury, you can call in. Good morning, Dave.
Morning, Ian.
How are you, boss?
Okay, thank you. You was on about people who put the central heating on and wussies.
Yeah, Pete, if you put your... By the way, can I just say, I was being very naughty. I promised producer Joe I would get 2 phone calls within the first 5 minutes of the show, and boy, oh boy, you have not let me down, dear listeners. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, if you put your heating on in October, you're a lightweight.
No.
Yes?
No.
Yes?
I have to keep warm.
Put a jumper on, Dave.
No, I've got Raynaud's in my fingers and in my feet.
OK, well, I don't want to sound flippant, but put gloves and thick socks on.
In the house?
Yeah.
Then what about when you want to go in and make a cup of tea? You got to take them all off.
You need, what are those gloves that tramps wear? The fingerless gloves.
Well, they're no good to me.
Well, no.
I've got no sensation in my fingertips.
No. What you do, right? You can get gloves that have got fingers, but then when you want to use them, you can pull the fingers off.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a mitten. Who was the first mum, Dave? Right, who was the first... Not the first mum ever, that was Eve. Who was the... But maybe this was her. Who was the first mum that decided it was a good idea to tie 2 mittens together with a piece of elastic and then thread it through the sleeves of their children's coats?
I don't know. I used to have that done when I was at school.
I used to have that. It's a genius thing. So I would love to shake the hand. They're probably long dead now. The first person that thought, yeah, my little Johnny keeps losing his mittens, so I'm going to attach them to 2 pieces of elastic and thread them through the sleeves of his coat.
That's right.
Are you, Dave? You sound of a certain age.
Yes.
Are you old enough? Were you one of those kids? My dad, when he was alive, says he used to do this. And I don't know if I believe him. Right. He said that when it was a really cold, like in the winter when he was a kid, in the 50s and 60s, his mum would bake him a jacket potato, and he'd keep it in his pocket to keep him warm, and then he'd eat it at lunchtime.
That's right.
Did you used to do that?
Yep.
Did that really, really happen?
We had to where I lived because we got no money.
This is brilliant. All right, because I always thought this was one of those lies my dad told me, right?
No.
But they were quite poor in the 50s. They lived in South London. And so to keep warm, right, when he was a kid, his mum would cook a jacket potato in the morning. He'd put it in his pocket to go to school to keep his hands warm, and then he'd eat it for lunch.
That's right.
That is genius.
I was brought up in a similar area, Nature's Green.
Yeah.
One of the roughest areas it was.
Yeah.
In Birmingham in them days. We had no hot water.
Yep.
The old tin bath outside, hanging on the wall. So I'm probably from the same area as your dad.
I remember having when I was really little, having a bath in the kitchen sink.
Yeah, but I did when I was really little, in the Belfast sink.
Yeah. Dave, listen, good to talk to you, mate. So you've got your heating on, have you?
Yeah, I put it on this week.
I'm going to let you because you've got a medical condition.
Okay.
But I'm
Ian.
watching you, David.
Thanks, Ian.
You're very, very welcome indeed. Well, already we've gone off onto two tangents. Jacket, but okay. This is wonderful, Dave, and this is why I love this show so much. Top tips for keeping warm. Top tips for keeping warm. Okay, we've already had Dave. I'm so glad he backed that up because I always thought my dad was full of it. He was, but jacket potato cooked in the morning, kept in your jacket, in your pocket to keep your hands and your body warm. You'd eat it at lunch. Brilliant. 03453 009956. And who was the first mum to put two mittens on bits of elastic and then thread it through the sleeves? Who was the first mum to? And it was a mum. It's a genius idea. Dot's in Sellyoak. Morning, Dot.
Good morning, Ian.
Did you used to have your mittens on a bit of elastic through the sleeves?
Ian, I'm going back to the 30s, dear.
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
They hadn't invented mittens then, had they? Or sleeves?
You got up, you got dressed, you went out into the yard. I lived in Nature, so that fella that's just rang, it was true what you had to do. You just had to go with you didn't have no messing about. You got up, you went into the yard, you washed under the cold water tap. I lived in a back-to-back house. There were 16 houses.
Yes.
And you all shared the same tap in the middle of the yard.
Kids these days, right? People these days. Oh, I'm really poor. I can't afford the Sky Movie package, and I can't afford more than 3 packets of fags a week.
I'll tell you something, Iain. When I started work, I left school on the Friday. I got home, and my mum said, "Okay, you start work in the morning." I said, "Where am I going? What have I got to do?" She said, "I've got you a job. I'll take her, and I'll show you what you got to do." And she got me a job, and I had to go.
And how old were you?
I was 15.
Oh, beautiful. I started working at 15. I had a job at 15. Come on, kids, get off your backsides, put down your PlayStation controllers, and get out there and work.
I was given pocket money.
Yeah.
And then I was given me bus fare. I used to have to get the number 43 bus from Nature's Green into the Old Square. Because I worked at Hilton's in Bull Street.
Did you have to take a jacket potato to school in your pocket to keep you warm?
You're joking.
Couldn't afford one?
I remember when I spent my dad used to give me 2 pence to go to work and 2 pence to come back. And on the Friday, I went into work, but with the 2p, obviously.
Yeah, that's
but coming back, I spent it, so I was in serious trouble.
Uh-oh. What did you spend it on?
So probably some sweets or something like that you didn't get. Because, they were still on ration until 1953.
Yeah, blimey.
And then when I got home...
I feel like I'm living your life in real time.
When I got home and I give me wages to my dad...
Yeah.
He said, "Well, where's this other 2 pence?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I spent it." He said, "OK. There's your money for the next week, less 2 pence."
Oh,
and I had to walk.
Dot serves you right, didn't it? 03453 009956. You see? We'll talk about anything. Already we've gone off on it. We've not even mentioned the best 8 films of all time. We'll talk about anything. Thank you, Dot. 16 houses all had to share a cold tap. And they were lucky to have that. Let's get the travel news now. Here's Liz Saul.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. It's not looking too bad on the whole so far this morning. If you are going onto the motorway routes, they're looking clear so far. Villa fans and your matchday travel are heading off to Everton for this afternoon's game. So that's going to take you about an hour and a half or so up the M6 and the M62. It's all looking fine so far this morning. No problems as you head along the M6 in the other direction to the M1 and onto the M25. Of course, Wolves fans are heading off to Millwall for this afternoon's game. So that's likely to take you a good couple of hours as well, but so far so good on those main routes. If you can update us, call BBC WM 95.6 Travel 08453 002288.
On Inside Out, we go undercover in Staffordshire to expose the road garages helping motorists break the law.
It's quite shocking. What they're doing is encouraging other people to break the law. They're breaking the law themselves. You're committing an offence.
And as we step into winter, we investigate the growing number of sinkholes.
We've disturbed the ground beneath us. We've made a cavity, we've excavated it. People have estimated there's probably at least 10,000 unrecorded mine shafts potentially trying to work their way to the surface, and will over geological time.
That's all on Inside Out. Monday, 7:30 on BBC One.
I do love this job. I love this job, Producer Joe. What fun. What fun. We've got a load of serious stuff to do, which we will get round to at some point. Don't panic. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering, if that's what you're after. But we've come in, and 17 minutes in, we're going on a wonderful tangent. I started by saying, if you've turned your heating on now, you're a wuss. Well, Dave phoned up. He's got a condition that means his extremities is a little bit chilly. No, I didn't trick him into phoning. I'm not Darren Brown. So now we've then discovered that actually what my dad told me about his mum cooking him a jacket potato in the morning, which he'd keep in his pocket on the way to school to keep him warm, and then he'd eat for lunch. I always thought he was lying. Loads of people have done it. So, your top tips for keeping warm, please. 03453 009956. Robert's in Four Oaks. Morning, Robert.
Good morning, Ian.
What you got for us, boss?
How are you?
Do you know what? I'm fine today. I didn't sleep very well. I had last night, Robert.
Yeah.
I had my first ever meat curry. I've never had a meat curry before.
You haven't lived.
Oh, I have now. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I went to a curry house, empty. I was the only person there. I thought, beautiful. And they're playing the old Indian music. I had a lamb curry. It was wonderful. They said it was lamb.
You think the mittens with elastic through the coat was good?
Yes.
How's this for a good one?
Go on then.
I'm going back to the 30s and 40s when we were on the farm.
Yeah.
And we had the big range in the house, big black lead range with a copper boiler and kettle and everything.
Beautiful.
And my dad used to pick stones up out the field, take them into the house, and Mum used to put them in the oven and into the copper.
Stones?
And we stayed there all day while she was working and cooking.
Yeah.
And when you went to bed, you got a piece of towel, wrapped a stone up and went to bed.
That's brilliant! That is... And did it work? Did it keep the bed warm?
That stone was still hot 5 o'clock next morning.
Did you ever burn yourself on the stone, Robert?
Oh, many times. You get into bed and you shuffle about and kick the towel off and you burn yourself. But you shall put the towel back around it.
Do you know what? Because I'm thinking I need to get a new electric blanket because my one broke last year.
Yeah.
Who needs an electric blanket?
Time, throw it away.
Get some stones, cook them.
Yeah, get a fire brick.
Yeah, oh blimey, Robert.
Get a fire brick. It'll stop warm for 12 hours.
So have you turned your central heating on, Robert?
We do at night time about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
For how long?
For an hour and a half, and then we knock it off.
Oh, what do you mean knock it off? Oh, you turn the heating off. I thought
turn the heating off. Yeah.
Thought you and your wife.
Yeah.
Found your own way to keep warm.
Once we've got the temperature warm in the house.
Yeah.
That's it.
And when did you... How long have you had the heating on for? When did you first turn it on this year?
It's only been on about a week.
Mate, couldn't you wear a jumper or a cardigan?
Oh no, I like to sit with a short sleeves T-shirt.
Oh no, I'm not. Are you made of money or something?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
How can you afford it?
Well, you learn to commonise things, you know.
Oh, okay. So you prioritise your... you can't sit around...
We don't go out drinking, we don't smoke, don't go out and have lavish meals.
You're busy knocking it off.
And the house comes first.
See, I like having a couple of T-shirts on, I've got a really nice, big, thick, chunky cardigan, and sitting under a blanket while I'm watching the telly. Oh, I love it. Cosy. No. And a hot stone. I love it.
Go and buy yourself a onesie.
Robert, thank you very much indeed. Terry?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Martin, listen to this. Martin's got a tip on Twitter for keeping warm, right? We're looking for your keeping warm tips. Hot stones in the bed. I like that. Carpet Martin says, keeping warm, weeing in the bath once it's gone tepid. One of life's great pleasures, both economical and satisfying.
Well, I'm going to go off on a tangent.
He's got a good point.
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 wonderful hot water bottles when I sleep. I've got the dog at the bottom of the bed and the cat on my chest, so they're wonderfully warm.
Yeah, I like my cat does 2 of the favourite sensual pleasure things to me that I've ever had done. No, steady. The first one is if I lie on my front in the bed, she sits on my back. Oh, I love it.
Yes.
The second one, and this is a little bit weird, right? Is if she comes close enough to me, and I open my eye really wide, she sniffs my eye, but her wet nose touches my eye.
Oh, no, my cat will kiss me on occasion.
Yes.
But
beautiful.
Cats do that, cats do that between each other. It's a greeting.
Yeah. Cats are filth, aren't they?
But I actually, just changing the subject slightly,
how
I envy you.
Why is that?
You had a curry last night.
Oh, mate, I had a beautiful... My first ever meat curry lamb. Curry lamb bought it. It was wonderful.
Oh, I can't eat curry now anymore. I used to love them, but with my cancer, I can't eat curry.
What cancer have you got?
Well, just getting out.
Oh, OK. So you've got to be very sensible. Let's put it bluntly, you've got to be sensible with your bum.
Well, no. I've had to change my diet completely. Lots of fish and lots of chicken.
Are you not... You're not allowed a cheeky curry every once in a while?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I have had one over the last 6 months.
Was it good?
That was a good one,
yeah.
and I like lamb as well. Yeah. I like lamb curry.
But if you have a curry... And listen, this is not medical advice, so if this goes against what your oncologist has said, well, but you only live once, innit? If you have a curry once every, 6 months, once every 3 months, in the great scheme of things, that little bit of pleasure is would make up for any harm it might do you, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'm going to have another one over the weekend.
Can I just say, Terry, if let's put it bluntly, if you die at the weekend because of the curry, you can't sue me or the BBC, is that right?
Oh, as if I would.
Good lad.
If I would. Can I talk about what I rang up about?
Yeah, sure. No, go on, this is good. I'm loving this show this morning. We've talked about nothing, but we filled 25 minutes of radio. Brilliant.
Yeah, but it's probably nothing. It's just a personal thought.
Go on.
ITV tonight has hit rock bottom. They're really scraping the barrel.
Let me get the TV listings up, because I've got all the papers
10:30.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross show's back.
Oh, no. Come on now. Come on. Jonathan Ross, and we did this last week about your man Clarkson. Jonathan Ross is one of the best television presenters this country has.
Oh, well, there's a talking point for you.
Why don't you like him?
He's so into himself. I love me. I'm mad about myself. It's just, I'd rather watch paint dry.
But he's funny. He's a funny guy. Hey, he's a funny guy. He gets really good guests on. I'm trying to find the listings. Who's he got on tonight? Do you know, Terry?
Attenborough.
He's got Attenborough on.
Is it David Attenborough? I've turned the listing off. I think it's David.
Well, it won't be Richard Attenborough, will it?
No. I think it's David.
Unless they're holding a séance, it's very unlikely it's going to be him.
Well, yeah.
So they've got David Attenborough. I've been told they've got Cheryl Cole on.
Oh, no, that's even
This is
worse.
brilliant.
Oh, please.
It sounds like an awesome lineup.
Oh, well, fair dues. You do what you need to do. I'm going to watch reruns of Waking the Dead or anything to get away from that.
Oh, mate. All right, Terry. Listen, hey, Terry, you know pandas?
Yes.
Should we just let them die?
Well, then there'll be no pandas at all. They're nice. They're lovely to look at.
Have a look at them in a book. Have you ever been and seen a panda? No.
Yeah,
No.
Years ago at a zoo. I think there was a zoo in Jersey. I can't remember, to be honest.
Well, then you've got the memory of seeing a panda.
Yeah, but a memory's... let's not get... We don't want any animal to become extinct.
But I'm not saying we should go around with a shotgun and shoot pandas.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying that for 1 second. What I am saying is, it's evolution, isn't it? Survival of the fittest.
Yes.
And the pandas are not the fittest.
Well, maybe not, but do they make any useful contribution? Or, I suppose, let nature take its course, really.
Terry, I've got to pick you up, mate. I'm going back to Jonathan Ross. I've just found it in the listings. Come on, this is in the Stars.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ross Show, new series. The host is back and he's starting as he means to go on with a very impressive list of guests. Sir David Attenborough.
Yes.
Mel B and Cheryl Cole.
Oh, good God.
And Steve Carell.
Who's Steve Carell?
He's a 40-year-old virgin.
Pardon?
And Paolo Nutini. You like a bit of Paolo Nutini, don't you?
Is that the singer?
Yeah, he's the singer.
Oh, actually, I might watch that then. I do like Paolo, whatever his name is. Yeah, okay, then I'll make a deal with you. I'll watch it tonight.
Thank you. Fantastic, Terry. There was a turnaround, wasn't it? I hate ITV. I hate Jonathan Ross. He's awful. Paolo Nutini's on it. Oh, I like Paolo. Whatever. I'll get it. I'll watch that. 03453 009956. I feel we should have a little recap. Jonathan, and I don't want to. We kind of talked about Clarkson last week in a similar vein. Jonathan Ross is brilliant. He's brilliant. You can't argue. You may not like him, but he's flipping good at what he does. He's funny. I've met him. He's a really nice bloke. He's always been very friendly to me. He gets really good guests. What other chat shows are there? Do you want that boring Parkinson-style chat show, or do you want a bit of fun? 03453 009956. We've talked about how you keep warm. Your tips. I think if you put your heating on, unless it's a medical condition, you're a little bit of a wuss. You're a bit of a wuss, aren't you? Couple of T-shirts, nice thick jumper, blankie, sat in front of the telly, cup of Ovaltine. Oh, I love an Ovaltine. Oh, a malty. Perfect. What more do you need? Don't put your heating on until the second week of November. 03453 009956. We've had some cracking tips as well for keeping warm. Hot stones in the bed. My boys have just discovered the magic of the hot water bottle. They love the hot water bottle, and they kind of walk around the house with a hot water bottle. They love it. I think it's so cute. I might put some boiling hot stones in their bed tonight when I go home. That'll learn them. That'll keep them on their toes. 03453 009956.
Pensnet, Rugeley, Redditch,
Rowley Regis. Have your say across the West Midlands.
BBC WM
95.6.
Malcolm's in Bourneville.
Hello.
Good morning to you, Malcolm.
All right, are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, actually. I didn't sleep very well last night, Malcolm.
No, well, you should take that dress off.
Listen, I really... And
no, I'm only kidding.
No, Malcolm, I am... Hang on a second, Malcolm. I am prepared to chip in for this, because you need help.
Yes,
I am prepared for you to pay for you to go on a course of counselling and therapy, because you are obsessed about me wearing women's clothes. It's obviously your fantasy.
Well, you'll have to put them on in a cold... You have to put them on in a cold house, don't you? If you're going to get up in the morning and it's freezing cold,
you're obsessed.
You've got to put something on. You can't have a wash in,
I tell you what...
we know we used to do it in the old days, but we've gone past all that now.
I tell you what I do like wearing. I do like wearing a wee willy winky.
A wee willy what?
A wee willy winky. I like the hat. You know the hat and the nightgown, the proper nightgown. Yeah, I like that. I do like that, but it's not a dress.
No, I know, I'm only kidding. Yeah. Listen, Jonathan Ross,
brilliant, isn't he?
I don't really watch it. I mean, for me, he gets too much money, so I don't bother watching him.
What's that got to do with it?
You could give me some of his money, then, it might be all right.
What's that got to do with it? How much money he earns?
Because he shouldn't... People who do next to nothing shouldn't get that... I mean, when he's as old as him and you get... It's like everything else. If you become used to a job and you know how to do the job that well and that it becomes second nature, then it's a piece of cake.
So hang on, you're saying the more... Are you saying the more experience we have at our jobs, the less we should get paid?
No, I'm not saying the less. I'm saying you shouldn't get... It's what I'm saying is that amount of money what people like him get and a few other of these stars...
How much does he get?
Get it for nothing, they don't deserve it, I don't think.
How much does he get?
I know, he gets a couple of million for some shows, doesn't he?
I don't know, does he? Where have you got that information
from? Yes, I've heard that, yes, and so does another chap on Channel 4.
Do you like football?
No, I don't like football. That's because their footballers get too much money. When they give them, say, 20 grand a week, they should let them keep about 2,000 or 3,000. We could live on that. We could all live on that easy, each of us.
You're jealous.
And then give the rest of it to the government to give to the poor and the pensioners.
But Malcolm, it sounds like you're just jealous.
I am, of course I am.
Well, you can't knock someone just because you're jealous.
Of course you can. Of course you can. We're trying to get this country out of the hole it's supposed to be, and this is the only way you can do it.
Then we need more people like Jonathan Ross to fly the flag and to keep us smiling through the hard times.
No,
and we should be
applauding.
We should be applauding them. But we should be applauding them for surviving in the face of adversity. They're an inspiration to us.
Get away.
You can achieve
He gets too much money, Ian. He can afford to give it away, the same as quite a few of these other personalities in this country can do the same. The country might not be in the state with him.
How do you know he doesn't?
Well, maybe, I don't know if he doesn't know or not.
You don't know? Well, do you want him to wear a big sticker saying, I give money to charity?
Yes, of course.
Well, why should he do that? Malcolm?
So as we can all know then, no, he doesn't. You can't have people coming on like me giving him hell.
Malcolm, listen, we're going to compile it. I'm going to let you go in a second because, you're boring me. But, no, I'm teasing. This morning, we've discovered that Michael Owen, the football star, he's only ever seen 8 films in his life. And
I've never seen 8.
Isn't that's weird, isn't it? I don't want to speak rude of anyone, but he must be an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
But we want to compile the list of the best 8 films of all time.
Best 8 films.
What would be your best film in the world ever?
Well, most of my favourites was the John Wayne films.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. You know, drink your milk. And the westerns and
all right, so we'll put down number 3, the John Wayne film Drink Your Milk.
No.
Thank you very much, Malcolm. So I don't know that one. Drink Your Milk, starring John Wayne, is at number 3 of the best films of all time. 03453 009956.
Iain Lee.
On BBC WM.
95.6. The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
You can call in about that, but guys, you ready for a quantum leap? Oh boy! This is why we do this show. We go from the light-hearted to the incredibly serious, and I know that you'll come with us and not think it's too insensitive. Here's a question: does looking at pictures make you a paedophile? Obviously, those pictures would have to be the child abuse pictures. A couple of stories this week about paedophiles that have got our attention. Earlier this week, John Grisham, the author. I've never read a John Grisham. They're like the paperbacks that you see in the airports all the time, like legal dramas and things, aren't they? I've never read them. John Grisham said that men who watch child porn are not all paedophiles. Basically, he said he's got a friend in prison who had a few beers too many and was kind of stumbling along on the web and he stumbled over some child porn. He's not a paedophile. Later apologised for his comments. Meanwhile, the second story of the week around this, Jamie Oliver. He's taken on a man and employing him at one of his restaurants, and this gentleman was convicted of raping a 12-year-old girl. 24-year-old David Mason served 4 years in a young offenders institute after raping the girl when he was 19. So, kind of a lot to get your head around there. But I want to start from the basic question: does looking at pictures of child abuse make you a paedophile? We can speak to Paul Roffey, who's a sexual crime consultant. Morning, Paul.
Good morning.
I'm going to put that question to you. Does looking at pictures of child abuse make you a paedophile?
I think that's a far too sweeping statement. There are people who have looked at these images who clearly are not paedophiles, but I think there are people who seek these images out who do so because they have a very unhealthy interest in children. And I think it's making that distinction and understanding how the images first become looked at. But the first point I'd have to sort of reinforce is that any image of a child of a sexual nature is an image of a crime scene of a child being abused, and that's a kind of a non-negotiable position. But the internet, as it is today, clearly makes it far too easy for people to find themselves looking at images that they ought not be looking at.
How? Because I tried a little experiment yesterday, and I Googled child porn.
Yeah.
Nothing came up. All it came up was John Grisham was on the first page. There were no images. You can't just find it or stumble across it, can you?
I think if you start to look at pornography more generally, the more you're looking at pornographic images, the more you're exploring the pornography that's available on the internet, the closer you become to looking at images that are illegal. And some sites set out quite clearly to demonstrate that they only use models above a certain age, and that's something that they promote. So that if you find images on their site that you think shouldn't be there, you report it to them, and they responsibly try and identify how that's gone onto their site. But it's clearly not as difficult as people make out.
Why would anybody look at these? And I'm trying to avoid the term child porn, because last time I got a load of flack for it.
Child abuse images.
Thank you.
Really.
Yeah, that's what people seem to prefer. Why would anyone look at those child abuse images unless they wanted to get a sexual kick from it?
I think we must remember that images of young people, particularly young women in societies across time, has certainly been the way that sex and sexuality has been promoted. So images of young women is not a new thing. We also must remember that for most people, our sexuality begins when we are ourselves young. So there is an appreciation of our sexual interest across the ages. I don't think there is anything unusual about people being able to appreciate sexuality in young and old. I think the distinction becomes when you have a focused sexual interest in children, and I think that's the key, where the focus is on children. Then we're talking about something quite different. The pornography industry, of course, focuses quite heavily on this by using a lot of teen sites, and it's my understanding that it's in this area where people will start to find that the images of the people they're looking at can get younger and younger. And one of my concerns is because of this, there are probably many, many more people who have unwittingly got images on their computer that are illegal because they found themselves drawn to this area of pornography.
Yes, there is a kind of a genre of pornography, barely legal, I seem to remember is being the phrase, where, it's 16, 17, 18-year-old women, perhaps even made to look up a little bit younger.
Yes.
The famous story that kind of confuses me on this was Pete Townsend. Pete Townsend from The Who, he got done for looking at child pornography. I think it was proved it was only a one-off that he'd done it, and he said that he was doing it because he felt that something had happened to him when he was younger, and he thought that maybe by looking at these images, it might unlock something from within him. There are still people though who are outraged that he never went to prison for that. Should he have gone to prison?
I don't believe he should, because I think we need to look at the detail of that story a bit closer. My understanding is that everything's based on Pete Townsend's admissions. I don't believe the police actually found the images. I think he said he looked at this information and he was cautioned on the basis of his own admission. So whilst my understanding is that a considerable amount of pornography was found, and if I'm wrong, then I accept that, I don't believe that they found images that would have been in breach of the law. It was simply his own admission and the fact that he was identified as having access to site, wasn't he? He was part of the sting under Operation Orr.
He used his credit card, didn't he, with his
right,
name on. What about John Grisham's statement, Paul, that there are too many... I mean, he's speaking specifically about America, but I'm assuming it transfers over here. There are too many white, middle-class men in their late 50s and 60s who maybe just had a bit too much to drink and found themselves looking at... that are in prison for this.
That's a pretty incautious remark, wasn't it? I mean, it's incautious. I think I have a sense of what he was trying to say, that I kind of got two difficulties with it. One is he quotes a friend who's in prison, and that's all he did. The problem with this particular subject is there are lots of people out there who sadly find that their friends have an unhealthy interest in children that they didn't know about.
It's that thing, isn't it? He didn't seem the type. Oh, no, not my friend. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors and in people's minds, do we?
No, and that's one of the issues here, is that because... the internet does two things, doesn't it? One, it gives access to images that previously people may have found more difficult to access and maybe would never have looked for or seen, but it's also something that the authorities can monitor. So we have a kind of a unique situation where for the first time in our history you have greater access to something, but then so do the people who monitor us.
Final thing, a very slight tangent. This Jamie Oliver story, he's got a restaurant where they often employ people who have criminals or have fallen down on their luck, and he's employed this 24-year-old David Mason, who served 4 years for, when he was 19, he raped a girl of 12. Should... I don't really know what I want to ask about that. Should people like that be given a second chance? Can they be rehabilitated?
I think it's always about context. And I don't know enough about this case to comment specifically, but in more general terms, on the face of it, 19-year-old rapes 12-year-old sounds serious enough to perhaps prevent you from being working with the public or in the proximity of the public ever again.
Yeah.
But we were would need to know what the context was and what the 4 years that followed there, because there are treatment programs in prisons and secure places. People do achieve a level of success within their therapy, particularly depending on the origin of their own behaviour, because for many young people there's a backstory to their behaviour, and if the therapy can start to address some of the deficits in their past and help them make some changes in their present, then maybe the risks in the future are significantly reduced. There is still a risk. I mean, I think once you have been convicted of a serious sexual crime, it's a brave person who takes a risk. But
Paul, listen,
I don't know the circumstances.
Yeah, I really appreciate your thoughts this morning. That's Paul Roffey, he's a sexual crime consultant. You want to have your say on those stories? Of course you can. It's an open house here. 03453 009956. Joined now by Jim Gamble, who's the former head of the CEOP, the Child Exploitation and Online Protection Centre, which works across the UK tackling child sex abuse. Morning, Jim.
Good morning.
What do you think about what John Grisham said, that men, not all men who watch child porn are paedophiles?
Well, I think that it's a difficult one, because at the end of the day, they watch these images online whilst they, satisfy themselves sexually. It's about a sexual motivation and fantasy, and, most people who've grown up, become aware of their own sexuality, whatever that may be, understand that that's a pathway and a road to the real thing. So I understand that John Grisham has now apologised, and I welcome that fact. But the fact of the matter is this: if a man looks up images online of a child being sexually abused, satisfies himself sexually while he's doing that, which is what they do, would you then let that man babysit for your children? And if the answer to that is no, then, we're on the same page. The benefit of the doubt must always go to the child.
And I appreciate what you're saying, but let's tread carefully. He's got young ears. But supposing that the chap looks at, I'm creating a fantasy scenario, looks at those images, is not pleasuring themselves, is he looking out of curiosity? What could we draw from that?
Well, in my experience, I don't believe that. The curiosity is an excuse that we're given after the fact. You don't stumble across these images. I've been involved in this work since 2001. I know people who've been involved with it as long as me who've actually been in the front line, so people in charge of the Victim Identification Unit in CEOP, who've gone online every day to search out images. And when I asked them, how many did you actually stumble across on the open web? The answer is none. So I don't think this is a thing that you go on and you make one click and you suddenly find yourself looking at a 4, 5 or 6-year-old child being abused. At the end of the day, you don't go on to Google and type in Lucky Dip and see what it throws up. If you're thinking about going on holiday and I look at your computer, I will find that you've been on holiday websites. If you have a deviant sexual interest in children and I go onto your website or go onto your computer, I will find pictures and images that you have been looking at that represent your offline interests.
Paul, our previous guest, Paul Roffey, a sexual crime consultant, said that you can stumble on these things. If you are indulging in legal porn, maybe slightly extreme, but legal porn nonetheless, that sometimes you can stumble onto child pornography. You're not buying that?
No, I'm not buying that. You don't stumble across it. You make a number of clicks to find it. I've been doing this for many years. I've been involved in the actual area where you actively go out and seek out these images, and people become confused. So if you go onto an adult pornographic site and you make a click, yes, you might be able to click through to see barely legal or Lolita-type sites where there are, girls of 18, 19 perhaps who look 13 or 14 posing in uniforms and participating. But when we're talking about hardcore child sex abuse images, and I would never call it pornography, these are indecent images of children being brutalised, you don't stumble across those. They are hidden, they are shared on peer-to-peer sites. We've known that from 2007, 2008. We know that they're used and shared on the dark web. I use Google Alerts. So every day to keep up to date, I put alerts into Google. So I get 36 alerts a day that range from child abuse images to child rape, the whole way through. And in the whole time I've been doing that, I've never had an indecent image served up to me.
Jim, we're running out of time. In 30 seconds, maybe impossible for you to answer this in 30 seconds. How do you do your job and not go nuts?
Well, in CEOP, what you do is you have great occupational health support. So every 3 months, there's a mandatory engagement with a psychologist who talks you through a lot of the issues to make sure that it's not having a transferred trauma impact on you and damaging your life.
Jim, I really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much indeed. If you want to have your say on that, 03453 009956. Let's get the travel now. Here's Liz Saul.
Thank you very much, Ian. It's not looking too bad generally on the main routes around Birmingham and the Black Country. A little bit busy perhaps inbound on Hagley Road into Birmingham, the A456 towards Five Ways Island, towards the Middleway. Just seems to be volume of traffic around there. Slow on the New St John Street West around Newtown Row. That's around the A34 interchange. Again, it just seems to be traffic there. No incidents reported. Your matchday travel sees Villa fans heading to Everton for this afternoon's game. The M6 and the M62 both looking clear so far with no delays reported along the northbound side of the motorway. Wolves fans going south on the M6 onto the M1 heading for Millwall, so the M25 is also looking okay. You may find a bit of congestion as you get nearer to the A12 on the outskirts of South East London. Tends to get rather busy. If you can update us, call BBC WM 95.6 travel 08453 002288.
Middleton, Mile Oak, Moseley, Oldbury, Pattingham.
Have your say across the West Midlands.
BBC WM
95.6.
It's weird, this show, isn't it? Because we are flipping and flopping between the flippant and the serious. Just a little reminder of what we were talking about there. I'm trying not to use the phrase child porn because I got told off last time. Because but by using the word porn, it kind of somehow lightens it slightly and demeans the fact that it's actual sexual abuse. But if people... OK, here's a question. Have you ever stumbled across it? Have you ever, in your life, stumbled across child abuse images? Because I don't buy the thing that it's that easy to do. It's been a long time since I've looked at hardcore pornography on the computer. Of course I've done it, I'm a bloke. Of course I've done it, I'm a bloke. A long time ago. Well, I say hardcore. You know the score. Porn. Been a long time. But it never popped up for me. I mean, the image, obviously. You know, so, have you ever stumbled across it? Really? I don't know if that's possible. And should people who have looked at it for whatever reason go to prison? 03453 009956. We can talk about that. There's a load of old nonsense to talk about as well. We're compiling the list of the best 8 films of all time. Michael Owen has only seen 8 films. How is that? At my peak, I could watch 8 films in the space of 3 days. I love films. Good. I watched Frank in the week. Seen that? Frank. Oh, it's wonderful. Wonderful. Watched The Signal as well the other day. It was quite good. We're compiling a list of the top 8 films. We're also we're talking about Jonathan Ross. We're talking about alternative ways of heating. 03453 009956. Today is Jota. What? Jota for the Scouts around the world. It's Jamboree on the Air, where the Scouts... Oh, I hate Cubs. I tell you why. Have I told you why I hate Cubs? Oh dear, you just kind of horrible place. My Cubs were anyway. Oh dear, all kinds of stuff going on there. Thoroughly unpleasant. Yes. Anyway, the Jamboree on the Air, where the Scouts, Cubs, and Guides use amateur radio to make contact and friends from all over. Gosh, Ian, the panda isn't the only animal that, if it were extinct, I would miss. Take the platypus, for instance. That's also useless, gender. Is the platypus real? Is that a real thing? What is it? Is it like a seal or something? Duck-billed platypus. But what? I don't know what that is. I jog around the house to keep warm, and I have 10 hot water bots. I'm assuming she means hot water bottles. Carl says, I put my heating on a few weeks now. I'm not very well. That's my excuse, Ian. Oh, blimey. He's got... What? Oh, blimey. Look at you, Carl. You've got a load wrong with you. We could play illness top trumps. Pancreatitis, cirrhosis of the liver, brain injury and headaches. Blimey. Well, I tell you what, you can keep your heating on. Andy's in Halesowen. Morning, Andy.
Good morning, Ian.
What you got for us, boss?
First of all, great show again. Lovely listening to you.
Thank you very much.
Do you mention
Michael Parkinson as opposed to Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, but
I never see Jonathan Ross, actually.
he's much. Michael Parkinson was so pompous and dour and sour and dull, whereas Jonathan Ross breathed life into his interviews.
I know where he should breathe life. I mean, all right, then, and on that, do you think what he done? Him and the other fellow, I can't think of his name, the laughing boy shows all his gums.
The laughing boy, what?
The laughing boy with the long hair, when he laughs, he shows all his gums.
He's very gum. Russell Brand, yeah.
Something about that. The children's granddaughter, was it?
The children's entertainer, Russell Brand, and Jonathan Ross phoned up Manuel and said some inappropriate things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that they should have kept their jobs?
It's a good question.
And on art.
Good question.
No joking.
Sorry?
No joking and on art. Do you think that Ben Pear should have kept their jobs?
I'm thinking. I'm considering your question. Short answer?
Love you to pieces.
No, I'm not. I'm going to answer you.
Pardon?
The short answer is yes, I think they should have kept their jobs.
Oh, right.
With various...
Obviously.
That's the very short answer. Hello?
Agree.
Hello?
Hopefully, anyway.
Yes, can you hear? That's the short answer with that, but that answer is loaded with various caveats and things, but the very short answer, one word, should they have kept their jobs? Yes.
Right, well, I don't know what else to say, I'm sure. I just think that they shouldn't have kept their jobs. What they did was absolutely shocking.
They didn't keep their jobs, so you're happy. I think they should have kept their jobs. I think they should have got told off. I think they should have come out and done a public apology quicker. I think Russell Brand did it quite quickly. I think they should come out quicker. I don't think what they did was funny. I think it was a bad joke that didn't work. OK, right, let's move on.
No, they should have been sacked. This man shouldn't be showing his face on a Saturday night. He shouldn't even have a show.
Why?
You can't put him in the same league as Michael Parkinson.
He's better than Parkinson. He's not on the BBC.
You say that to Parkinson if you walked in.
Hang on a second.
You say that to his face.
Hang on a second, right? Hang on a second.
Put Jonathan Ross in the same.
Right. Hang on a second.
As Michael Parkinson.
We're gonna mention. Right. Hang on a second. Right. All he did was a joke that wasn't very funny. Was a little bit cruel, it didn't work. You're telling me he should never work again? When there's a footballer today... There's a footballer today... Andy, there's a footballer today who's going back to his football team. He's spent 2.5 years in prison. And you're saying that Jonathan Ross shouldn't be on telly because he's told a joke?
That's right, he should have lost his job, yeah.
He did lose his job.
Oh, well, why is he on the television then?
Because he works for a different company now.
Well, why? Why did they employ him?
Because he's
blooming... must be as balmy as what he is.
He's blooming talented and people want to watch him.
What about paedophile? Don't you think what they said?
What?
Paedophilia.
Wait a minute, what's that?
He's in the same league.
No, Jonathan Ross is not in the same league as a paedophile.
God.
You don't think...
Oh, dear, Ian.
Do you think that Jonathan Ross is in the...
I love to... You should be on the radio every day.
Thank you very much indeed. Just for legal reasons, I have to clarify that Jonathan Ross, of course, not a paedophile. Why was he comparing it? What was the comparison there? There's no comparison. Jonathan Ross did a joke, wasn't very funny, it was a bit cruel, it didn't work. Right? I personally think he should have kept his job at the BBC. Maybe kept his head down, maybe, but that's fine, he didn't. But you can't say he should never work again. Can you? That sounds it. I've made jokes that didn't work, that were a little bit cruel and weren't very fun. I do it every day. I don't know. If you analyse this show, it's about 75% of this show. You're telling me I should never work again? Really? 03453 00. Producer Joe is saying, yep. 03453 00 9956. Teresa's in Lichfield. Morning, Teresa.
Hello, my darling. I can't agree with everything you said.
Can you believe... Of course Jonathan Ross should work again, shouldn't he?
Of course he should.
I think he should still be on the beat. He was on Radio 2 the other week.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know about that.
Hello?
Of course he should.
Yeah, of course he should. He's a very talented man who likes to push the envelope a little bit far, and maybe on that instance he pushed it a little bit too far.
He overstepped the mark.
And boy, oh boy, with the greatest of respect to Manuel, doesn't he keep banging on about it?
You can't take someone's job away from them just because they've overstepped the mark.
Every time Manuel's on telly or he's got a new book out, he'll bang on about that, won't he?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway, Teresa, you've not called in about that. What have you got for us?
Right. South Pacific.
Sorry?
South Pacific, the film.
Oh, yeah, we're compiling the top... Yes, top 8 films of all time, yeah.
Yes. Breeze of Madison County.
You are having a... That's the most boring film of all time.
Is it?
It's so dull.
Why is it a woman?
I'm not having that. Go on.
Mary Poppins.
Oh, Mary, that's gone in at number... Teresa, that's gone in at number 2. Mary Poppins. Beautiful, beautiful film.
Yeah. I can't think of the other one now. You got me off track now.
I've not got you off track, Teresa. It's your loose-limbed mind that's wobbling all over the shop.
Oh, is it really?
Hey, you know pandas?
No, I don't know that one.
No, the animal pandas.
Oh, the pandas.
Yeah, you know Right, so go again. Hey, Teresa?
Yes?
You know pandas?
Yes?
We should let them die, shouldn't we?
No.
What?
Don't let any animal die.
Well, they've got to die at some... All animals die at some point. My velvet's going to die at some point.
Yeah, but no. They can't be extinct. No.
Well, they can. There's only about 27 of them left in the world. Why should we spend all...
We've got to keep them going. The dinosaurs went, didn't they?
Yes, Teresa. That's probably a good thing they went. Imagine the dinosaurs now stomping around Birmingham, just walking through the library. That'd be awful, wouldn't it? Oh, we just had that blooming library. Malala's just opened this library and dinosaurs walked into it now. Hey, my friend... Right, I've bought stick insects. I've got stick insects now. They're a bit boring. And my friend's got stick insects. And one of them escaped. Right, one of them escaped for ages, couldn't find it. And for about a couple of months. And then she said this week, my stick insect came back. It was outside the box. I put it back in. I said, right, that stick insect has been out of that cage for months. You know that has probably laid about 300 eggs all over your house. No, it'll be fine. So far, I've had 12 texts. I just found another stick insect. They're all over the living room. They're just popping up in the carpet. Isn't that disgusting, Susan?
Yes, it is.
Stick insects all over our living room.
Yes.
Yes. You sound a bit upset. What's your beef?
Well, actually, what you've just said about Jonathan Ross and the other idiot Russell Brand.
Yeah, the other idiot millionaire, yeah.
I can't understand how anyone can find it funny when two idiots with massive egos phone up an old man and say disgusting things to him down the phone about his granddaughter.
I agree.
But you said he made a joke.
Yeah, I said
the joke in
that? No, I said it was a joke that wasn't funny. It was a bit cruel and didn't work. I didn't say I found it funny. Don't find it funny. That's the problem. Then. It wasn't funny. But you can't condemn someone to never working again because they did a joke that wasn't funny.
No, I agree with you on that. No, you can't. But what I found offensive afterwards, the BBC started to pay him £6 million. There's nobody worth that. And that's not...
Well, that's a whole different issue. Whether a celebrity is worth £6 million or not is a different debate, isn't it? Jonathan Ross is one of the best television talents we've got in this country. He shouldn't be booted off our screens just because he did a joke that didn't work and was a bit cruel.
Well, it wouldn't bother me if he was booted off the screen, Ian, because I just think he's an arrogant, big-headed person that I'd never ever watch.
Yeah, but he is funny though, isn't it?
No, he isn't.
He's got Paolo Nutini on his. He's got Paolo Nutini and Mel C on the show tonight.
I don't care. Well,
Cheryl Cole.
Funny is making jokes where you don't use innuendo.
Oh no!
And bad language.
You've never seen a Carry On film?
Sorry?
You've never seen a Carry On film?
That was harmless fun.
It's full of it, Susan. I've got to go because the music. I'm sorry, the music's kicking in. You don't make jokes that are based on innuendo. The whole of British comedy is based on innuendo. Carry On? Frankie Howard? Anyone?
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
BBC WM 95.6.
Blimey, an hour down, 2 to go. Let's get the news. Here's Chris Blakemore.
Thank you, Ian. And the Trades Union Congress says it expects tens of thousands of people to attend demonstrations today calling for more pay rises. Rallies will be held in London, in Belfast and in Glasgow. Hundreds of workers from the West Midlands have travelled to London for the rally, which is called Britain Needs a Pay Rise. The government says pay restraint in the public sector has actually helped to safeguard jobs. James Morris is the Conservative MP for Halesowen and Rowley Regis, and he spoke to Molly Green on BBC WM earlier.
A public sector pay freeze of 1%, there's a lot of people, very good people, who are doing a great job working in our schools and in our hospitals. But as I say, we have to make difficult decisions on spending. It's an unfortunate consequence of the deepest economic recession, Labour's Great Recession of 4 or 5 years ago, which we're still recovering from.
Police are looking at CCTV pictures after claims that someone's firing a BB gun at houses in Birmingham. Some windows have been shattered in Coldbath Road, which is in Billsley. Police want anyone who knows anything to contact the station in Stetchford. A man who served 2 jail sentences after being found guilty of robberies in Birmingham in the 70s and 80s wants an apology after winning his fight to have his convictions overturned. 70-year-old Martin Foran, who now lives in Manchester and has terminal cancer, went to the Court of Appeal in London yesterday. West Midlands Police say they know the court's decision, but he says he wants more than that.
And to this day, not the Chief Constable of Birmingham, no one has apologised to my family. They suffered more than I did. My children had to grow up without a father. No one said sorry to them.
There's criticism today of how the World Health Organisation reacted to the Ebola outbreak. A leaked report from the World Health Organisation has blamed its own staff for missing opportunities to stop the spread of Ebola in West Africa. It's accused member countries of the UN of being too slow to act because of insufficient information and incompetence. A secret American spacecraft has landed in California after nearly 2 years orbiting the Earth. Authorities won't reveal what it's been doing up there, but some suspect it's been used to spy on countries or their satellites. Now, as always, on a Saturday, big day of football, and you can keep across all the action here on BBC WM 95.6. Villa are away to Everton in the Premier League. We'll have updates from Goodison Park from 3. The live game here on BBC WM 95.6 will be from the Den as Wolves make the trip to Millwall in the Championship this afternoon. Like head coach Kenny Jackett, Wolves winger James Henry is going back to his former club, and he's got good memories of life in the Championship with them.
It was fantastic. I think we finished 8th or 9th. On such a low budget as well. We done fantastically. Kenny was magnificent there. It was a massive part in my career. I had some fantastic times there, and we had a lot of success over the years. Good to go back there, and I'm looking forward to it.
Also in the Championship today, Blues will be looking to build on the 4 points they picked up from their last 2 away trips as they host Bolton at St Andrews this afternoon. There'll be commentary on BBC WM DAB in Birmingham from 3 o'clock. In League One, Walsall also face bottom of the table opposition as Crewe Alexandra visit the Banksy Stadium. West Brom, meanwhile, they're not in action until Monday night when they're at home to Man United. Another game you can hear live here on BBC WM 95.6. And the weather then, any rain will clear to leave a dry and sunny day with highs of 19 Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit. Dry and mild tonight with lows of 13 Celsius, 55 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow for the Great Birmingham Run, it's going to be dry and sunny again with highs for Sunday, 17 Celsius, 63 Fahrenheit. BBC WM 95.6 News and Sport. There's more online at bbc.co.uk/WM.
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
You should take in other religions and treat them as you would want to be treated yourself.
We are even more intelligent. They treated me with the utmost respect.
Iain Lee, Saturdays
9 till 12.
BBC WM 95.6.
Good morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC WM 95.6. A busy show this morning, very busy show. Are you a paedophile if you look at child abuse images? We're trying to avoid the phrase child pornography. 03453 009956. Jonathan Ross is fantastic. We've had people saying he should never work again because he phoned up Manuel. It wasn't funny, it was cruel, it was a joke that didn't work. But fair play, Manuel's been dining out on it ever since, so why shouldn't Jonathan Ross be allowed to work? 03453 009956. If you've turned the heating on, then you're a wuss. and you're killing the planet. Put a jumper on. Have a nice cup of hot cocoa. Snuggle up under a blankie. What are your tips for keeping warm? We've had hot jacket potatoes in the pockets. We've had hot stones in the bed. Your other thoughts, please. And pandas. Really? We don't need... If you could get rid of one animal, what would you get rid of? And I'm not saying we're going to go around shooting pandas in the head. That would be cruel. We don't need them, do we? They don't serve any purpose. 03453 009956.
Have your say.
Across the West Midlands, call
03453
009956.
BBC
I didn't say I'd do it in this hour.
95.6.
Didn't say I'd do it in this hour. No, Bernie said it, and you said it. I didn't say I'd do it. Ranjit's on the line. Good morning to you, Ranjit. I hope you're enjoying the show this morning. Good topics, aren't they, today?
They're a bit... You were scraping the barrel a bit earlier.
Why's that, mate?
Come on, talking about putting the heating on.
Well, why is that scraping?
It didn't stimulate my brain. Yeah.
Well, but Ranjit, I don't think a blooming electric shock of 50,000 volts would stimulate your brain.
I don't know about that. Anyway, I'll give you... I used to be an outdoor market trader.
Here we go. It didn't stimulate his brain, but he's going to talk about it, guys. He doesn't like the topic, but to prove it doesn't work, he's going to contribute towards it. Thank you, Ranjit.
Because you know what? You were scraping the barrel, but you've gone away from the bottom now.
OK, Ranjit, you're going to take us right to the top.
Outdoor market traders, yeah.
Yes, Ranjit.
We'd fill bottles of water, hot water, yeah, to stay warm. And I've had the heating on throughout the summer, sometimes.
You've had the heating on in the summer? Yeah, man.
Yeah, because you probably think I'm a bit of a wuss, man. But, you know, I work in a chip shop, yeah, it's very hot. So when I go home at night, about 1 o'clock at night...
Why would you put the heating on at 1 o'clock at night in the summer?
Yeah,
you're nuts, man.
10, 15 minutes, yeah.
Nuts, man.
No, it's not. Of course it ain't.
Of course it is. It's absolutely bonkers.
No, because
And can I just say, Ranjit, sorry to interrupt, OK? Yeah. You've accused us of me scraping the bottom of the barrel with this topic, which you've called in to talk about.
Yeah.
Of all the calls we've had about it, yours is the worst.
I know.
And how does that make you feel? Yours is the worst call about a topic that's scraping the bottom of the barrel. That must humiliate you, and if it doesn't, it should.
Listen, at least I'm good at something, ain't I?
What's that then, Ranjit?
I've got the most boringest call.
Yeah, you say, and we've often said that in production meetings.
No. Anyway, you know...
He's got the most boringest call.
Russell Brand and that, yeah? When you're saying they shouldn't be sacked or whatever, yeah? Thing is... That was a joke, so I don't think I agree with you on that one. But the footballer, he should be definitely sacked.
I know it's. Do you know what? I feel that every other phone-in show in the history of the world has talked about Ched Evans and whether he should go and play for... I mean, hey, listen, as I said, it's an open door. If people want to come and talk about it, they can come and talk about it.
What it is about that guy, not just him, you know, footballers, yeah? All the young kids now, like even your sons, my sons, they watch football... and they imitate what the players do.
They don't, Ranjit. They don't. No, Ranjit.
Have you ever run a football club? Have you ever run a football club?
Ranjit.
Have you ever run a football club?
No, let me just comment. I'll come on to that in a second. I've got a feeling you know the answer to that question, but we'll come on to that in a second. You've just said all the young kids imitate what all the football players do. They don't go around raping people.
No, you didn't let me finish. Did you interrupt people? You do. Right, not all... I said this on another talk show the other day.
Oh, so you're recycling your material.
No, I'm not recycling it.
You just said you said it on another show.
No, I'm trying to now load your brain up with some intelligence here.
Oh, flipping it, Ranjit. Right. God blimey, if it's coming from you, we're all screwed.
Listen, have you ever run a football club?
Ranjit, what do you think the answer to that question is?
No.
Correct.
Have you ever worked with kids?
Yes.
Right, what do kids do? And do they imitate the adults?
Ranjit, stop asking me questions. Tell me what you want to say.
All right, I'm going to say is most kids won't turn up to be rapists, yeah? But these footballers are role models. There's no role models on the TV or anywhere at the moment, yeah? If you look now...
No, they're not. I disagree with the very simple premise that you're building your argument on.
No, okay,
I do not think that footballers... I do not think that the majority of footballers are role models.
I think most of them are.
I think, well, you're wrong.
You think as a child, yeah? You think as a child... Yeah, what you know when you watch the football.
So I don't get your point. So young people are going to think that rape is okay because Ched Evans is playing football again.
You're trying to twist it now.
Well, no, then get to your point, Ranjit. Instead of waffling on like the old girl you are.
Footballers, yeah, only good people should play football. When they
Ranjit, goodbye.
Cheerio.
Only good people should play football. That's the essence that his argument boils down to, right? Only good people should play Flipping heck. Oh, Ranjit. I mean, I'm going to give you -5 out of 10 today. That was poor. I don't particularly want to talk about Ched Evans, not just because everyone else has done it. But as I say, it's an open door. If you want to come on and talk about it, you can do. I don't buy this argument that all football players are role models. I don't buy it. I think some are. I think David Beckham is. I think some of them are. But the majority of them aren't. They're sportsmen. All right, I say it. They're thick people with a lot of money. That's what they are, basically. They're thick blokes with too much cash. That's what they are. And you can't... Kids aren't going to be going, yeah, Ched Evans. Oh, man, rape's so cool. Of course they're not going to be thinking that. Of course they're not. It's insanity. Do you know what? Here's something, actually. Do you know... OK, and I'm just thinking this out, so this might come across as a little bit clunky. There's me saying I didn't want to talk about it. I've got what I think is a unique theory on this. It's great if he plays football again. Is it Sheffield United or Wednesday? United. It's great if he plays football for Sheffield United. Do you know why? Because then young boys and young men might learn a little bit of respect for women. They might see the furore that's surrounding this story and say, what's all the fuss about this fella for? And then their mums or dads might say, well, what happened was this, this and this, and it's completely inappropriate to do this, this and this. Might bring it into the spotlight a little bit. 03453 009956 is the telephone number. Haggis is on the line. Morning, Haggis.
Morning, Ian.
Hello, boss. Right. Yeah, I'm all right. What you got for us?
Sound. I just think them people who are phoning in saying about Jonathan Ross, he should be sacked and all this. I think they're living in the old age.
Yeah.
They're not. They haven't got our sense of humour. It happened, but it didn't hurt anyone. It might have hurt the guy's feelings, but it didn't hurt anyone. So I can't see what the hassle is. And
it was a joke. It was a bad joke. Wasn't very funny. It was a bit cruel. Yeah. It didn't work. Let's all move on, shall we?
Exactly. Thank you. Right. You're on about pandas.
Yeah. Don't need them. Silly animals.
Right. Can I just tell you a quick story?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to swear or anything.
Well, I hope you're not. Otherwise, I have to come around and give you a slap.
No. Right. A panda went into a pub. He met a girl.
Uh-oh.
They went for a meal. They went back to her place. They made love. And then the girl woke up and the panda was leaving. And do you know why?
Go on.
Because pandas eat, shoots and leaves.
Nope, I think we're still broadcasting. OK, that was close. Thank you very much indeed. 03453 009956. Keith's in Bartley Green. Morning, Keith.
Morning, mate.
What you got for us?
It don't get any better, does it?
Unfortunately, no, it doesn't. I'm sorry about that.
I beg your pardon, son. You know this guy they don't want him to play again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with you. Not all footballers are like profile because there's so many of them. Yeah, Beckham and people like and Rooney.
Yeah.
But that guy now has had more publicity because somebody's saying ban him than he would normally have got.
Yeah, and what's your point?
So it's probably pushed him more into the limelight.
Oh, it certainly made him more famous.
Whether he plays again, is another story.
There's a story in one of the papers. I can't say it's the Mail. I think I could be wrong. Yeah. Where it's how the victim of this horrible crime that he committed has had to go off Twitter because she's had loads of abuse from trolls and things like that. That's nothing to do with him. That's not Ched Evans' fault that she's been targeted like that. And the implication was it's his fault. It's not his fault. And that his family threw him a party when he came home. I would suspect that most families would throw a party when someone comes out of prison. Now, I'm not condoning what he does. No. I've got no idea. I'd never heard of him before this. I don't follow football. I'm not quite sure what my thoughts are on whether he should play or not. But don't ever go at his family for throwing a party for him. And also don't ever go at him because the victim is being bullied on Twitter. It's not his fault.
Yeah, but the thing is, equally, I don't condone what he's done. I don't condone anything like that. But the lady herself put her name up. She got rid of her own number. Hang on, tongue twister. Made herself not anonymous anymore.
What?
And actually came out and said, "This is what's happened."
Well, no, there's no reason. I've got to go to the travel a second.
No, hang on, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it is, but
yes,
when you're in a situation like that,
yes,
if something's happened to me, and I come and tend to, so right, this is,
yes,
you're always going to get somebody have a go.
You are, Keith. You're absolutely right. I think a little bit hard to follow at the end there. 03453 00 9956. BBC WM 95.6. Let's get the travel. Here's Liz Saul.
Thanks, Ian. As you head around Wolverhampton, it's already looking congested this morning on the Ring Road, but we understand that the Bilston Street roundabout, the A4150 section, between the A454 and the St George's Ring Road section is shut because of some roadworks going on. It's just the eastern side of the roundabout is shut all weekend. Buses can't get around and being diverted. There's a lot of congestion as a result. On the A454 in particular, back to Middle Cross. That's the reason why Wolverhampton is looking very congested this morning. It's still busy as you head into Birmingham along Hagley Road towards Five Ways Island, though that's looking better than it was. Around Dudley, you'll find it slow going as you head around Cinderbank Island in particular from Castlegate Island on the bypass. And at Great Bar, it's heavy around Queslett Road at the junction with the A34 on all approaches. Your matchday travel sees Villa fans heading to Everton for this afternoon's game. Along the M6 and the M62, not looking too bad. Wolves fans going the opposite way along the M6, south onto the M1 and then to the M25. All those routes so far so good as they head for their match at Millwall this afternoon. If you can update us, call BBC WM 95.6 Travel 08453 002288.
The Ed Doolan Christmas Show.
Would you welcome to the stage
winners of Britain's Got Talent, Calabro.
Safe behind
Birmingham comedy legend, Jasper Carrott.
I've got a marvellous mother-in-law. She's a test pilot in the broom factory.
Black country comedian, Doug Parker.
We've had some tough times in Wolverhampton, mate. Even the advent calendars are boarded up.
And more big names still to be announced. The Ed Doolan Christmas Show. Friday, the 12th of December at the Symphony Hall, Birmingham, from 11 a.m. Tickets cost £5 plus a transaction fee. Call 0121 345 0600 or visit thsh.co.uk.
BBC WM
95.6.
Sounds like a good night. Now, there is video footage of me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/BBCWM. I'm assuming that's what it is. Of me with the hula hoop. Do we know have we found... Dan?
Hello?
Where does the hula hoop come from?
The what?
The hula hoop.
The hula hoop?
The hula hoop.
Oh, they're in a bag of crisps.
No, not the hula hoop crisps, you plum. The actual hula hoop. I'm guessing, I'm making up in my head, it was invented in Hawaii in 1956, because it sounds about right. But I don't know. I think it was in
1957.
Well, but are you saying specifically Hawaii?
No.
Well, where was it? Oh, flipping, it's like pulling...
Definitely from Kettering.
I don't think they came from Kettering.
They did.
I can
assure you.
Here we go. It was invented in 1958. Hey, that's not bad, is it?
No.
I don't know. And it comes... Oh, it's a Native American thing. I was pretty close with Hawaii. I was pretty close. Thank you, Producer Joe. I've got 10 sheets here. We've killed half a rainforest printing off the information about where the hula hoop comes from.
Oh.
Do you know who invented it?
Mr. Hula.
And Mr. Hoop. No, Arthur K. Mellin and Richard... No. Hey, here's something. You know B&Q?
Yeah.
What does the B&Q stand for? And steady.
Oh, that could be basting and quality.
No, it's not. Why are you echoing so much? Is your radio on?
Yeah, I'm outside the van.
Well, turn the radio off, you plum. Otherwise it sounds like you're live in Wembley Stadium.
I am.
Oh, there we go. That'll be it. What have you called in for, Dan?
Oh, just tell you how much of a legend you are.
Yeah, it's true.
No, honestly, it's about time we listen to something good on the radio.
Yeah, it's about time, isn't it? Everything else... No, there's other good stuff. All right, listen, Dan, you weird stalker. Let's get our money's worth out of you. You've called in. We're going to make you work. We're compiling the top 8 films of all time. So far... we've got at number 5, South Pacific.
Right.
At number 4, we've got Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
Number 3, we've got a film called Drink Your Milk, starring John Wayne.
Yeah.
And at number 2, Mary Poppins.
Right.
What are you going to add to that list?
Back to the Future.
Oh, mate, that's going straight in at number... No, it's not. Back to the Future 2 is much better than the first one.
Oh, I don't know.
Mate, he goes to the future in it.
Oh, you don't want to see the future?
I love the future in films.
No.
OK, well, I'll put Back to the Future... I won't put Back to the Future 3, because that was rubbish.
No, that was pants.
That was utter guff.
Hold on, we're going to say Chitty Chitty Bang Bang if we can change it.
Chitty Chitty Bam Bam?
Yeah.
It's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
What? That's what I said, wasn't it?
You said Bam Bam.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yes.
You can't change it now because I've written it down and I've not got a rubber.
Scrub it out, just with your pen.
Oh, mate, I don't like doing that. It's so neat. And also, it's a good film, Chitty Chitty Bam Bam, Bang Bang.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit...
You screwed it then, didn't you?
No, I would suggest it's 30 minutes too long. It does go on a bit. I watched it recently. It drags a bit in the middle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which bit? Where are you saying from? I know the middle, but whereabouts?
Well, there's the whole bit in the castle. There's a whole... And it just goes on a bit too long.
Right. Yeah.
Dan, you're all right, Dan. You sound a bit sad, mate. What's going on in your life?
Oh, mate, you don't want to know.
Oh, I do want to know. I'm feeling the pain, brother.
Crazy.
You having trouble at home?
Oh, yeah, I've been getting beaten.
Oh, blimey. Well, Dan, we'll let you go off and get medical assistance immediately then. 03453 009956. Jarvis is in Yardley. Morning, Jarv.
Good morning.
Have a listen to these films, Jarvis. Let me know what you think, right? At number 6, we've got Back to the Future 2. At number 5, we've got South Pacific. 4, it's Ghostbusters 2.
I'm listening.
Sorry?
I'm listening. Keep going.
Yeah, OK. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. Nobody else in the car but me.
Well, hang on a minute. Were you just telling me to keep going?
Yeah, you mentioned one film, you mentioned a second film, and then you stopped.
Right. Well, no, I didn't stop. Yeah, I stopped because you were talking.
No, I'm not talking. I promise you.
I can hear you now. So you are talking now.
I'm talking to you. Yes.
Okay. When are you going to stop talking so I can do the list?
Right now.
At number 3, it's Drink Your Milk, starring John Wayne. And at number 2, we've got Mary Poppins. What would you add to that list?
Would have to be a Western. I can't think of any particular film.
Oh, do you know what? I don't like Westerns.
Yeah.
They're really boring. We're banning Westerns.
Okay, well...
Anyway, Jarvis, everyone sounds really miserable this morning, don't they?
No, I'm trying to think and drive at the same time.
Yeah, think and drive at the same time. He's trying to think and drive at the same time, guys. If you're in Yardley, keep off the roads. Jarvis is thinking and driving at the same time.
Okay. What I wanted to say, you were on about central heating.
Yes.
I put my central heating on intermittently during into September when it's a bit cold.
Oh,
but since the beginning of this month, I've had it on timed. There are times it's a bit hot, but I'd much rather be hot than cold.
Are you made of money, Jarvis?
Far from it.
How can you afford to have had your central heating on since September?
No. In September, on and off, I turned it on and off during September. But since the beginning of this month, it's on time, but it's on low. And
Jarvis, put a jumper on and some thick socks. Wear your wife's tights.
I've done that in the past, but that's something else.
Was that for a little bit of fun in the bedroom?
No, that's just because I'm that way inclined.
Okay, no, fair enough. We've all done it. But seriously, if you want to stay warm, put on some thick socks. This is why women's legs are never cold, because they wear thick tights. Those things keep you really warm.
Okay. Anyway, going back to the Chet Evans situation, I've only become aware of it this week.
Yeah.
And I have an open mind on it, but the more publicity you give him, I'm not sure if it's that good or bad, but he has to work somewhere. And I think reading between the lines, I think when he refused to accept being guilty, I think there's more to it than we've been led to believe.
Well, the thing is, we have to go by the court of law. He's been found guilty. Now, he says he's not guilty, but he served 2.5 years in prison and he's been found guilty. So, in the eyes of the law, he's guilty of what he did. Would it help, right, if on his first day at Sheffield, he comes out, he does a big press conference, he says, do you know what? What I did was completely inappropriate. I'm really sorry. I'm going to offer £50,000 to the girl and her family. I'm going to offer £50,000 to a rape charity, and I'm also going to go and talk to young men about respecting women. Would that make a difference?
I think, forget offering the money to her or anybody else, but I think he should first say, look, I made a mistake. Whatever the situation and circumstances, I do apologise. And like he says, make himself available, he says, to go and speak about the situation and how easy it is or not to get yourself in that situation and what you should do should you find yourself in that situation. Because, as you said, he was found guilty. But the news earlier on, there was a guy from Manchester who was found guilty, and now he's saying, now he's been proven innocent.
Jarvis, going off on a tangent, do you believe in heaven?
Yeah.
Really? What's it like there?
Heaven is for the dead.
Right, heaven is for the dead, yeah. What's it like there?
I am not dead.
No, OK. Third time lucky. What's it like there?
As I said, heaven is for the dead.
Okay.
I'm not in heaven, and I haven't died.
OK. What do you... OK, let me try a different tack. What's it like there?
There, where?
Heaven. What's it like there?
In my imagination, where there's peace, tranquility, there's no anger, there's no hatred.
Because Xbox games are really expensive. Are they cheaper in heaven?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Yes, I would imagine so, because there's no cost in heaven, is it?
So Xbox...
You pay the price now.
So Xbox games are cheaper in heaven.
Yeah.
Is food cheaper?
No.
Are the TV programs...
It depends on what you call heaven, what you think heaven to be.
When you go to heaven, right, we've worked out that Xbox games are cheaper. Is the television better? Do they have better TV programs in heaven?
In my understanding of heaven, you won't need the earthly things, the things we enjoy now. Heaven's a place for the spiritual, not the living.
But there are some spiritual programs, aren't there? Like Father Dowling Investigates and Monk and Diagnosis Murder.
They're earthly games.
Is Diagnosis Murder on all the time in heaven? Because that would be heaven for me.
Well,
on one channel you'd have Diagnosis Murder, the other channel would be Monk.
Well, that's your heaven.
Yeah.
You don't have to die to be. You don't have to die to be there.
Yeah, Jarvis, thank you very much indeed. I tell you what, I'm talking about heaven, right? Because there's a made-up story. Excuse me. There's a story in the Daily Mail today. What heaven's really like, by a leading brain surgeon who says he's been there. Read his testimony before you scoff. I'm going to do a little bit of scoffing before I read it, if you don't mind. It's in my nature to scoff. It might just shake your beliefs. It won't. Doctor... Well, hang on, his name's Eben. That's not even a name. Eben. It's not even a name. Even. Dr. Eben Alexander. People who have first names for their last names really annoy me. When I was a small boy, I was adopted. I grew up remembering nothing of my boring. Let's get to the bit where he dies and goes to heaven, shall we? What is unique in my case is that I am, as far as scientific records show, the only person to have travelled to this heavenly dimension with the cortex in complete shutdown. Yeah, because, tell you what, mate, it didn't happen. He falls into a coma, right? I'm trying to find... After the blinding headache, when I had slipped into the coma, I gradually became aware of being in a primitive primordial state that felt like being buried in earth. It was, however, not ordinary earth. For all around me I sensed and sometimes heard and saw other entities. It was partly horrific, partly comforting and familiar. I felt like I'd always been part of this primal murk. Was this hell? I don't think it was. I would expect hell to be at least a little bit interactive. What does that mean? I would expect hell to be a little bit interactive? This was completely passive. Right, so where does he go? Where does he go to heaven? There were clouds like... Oh, for goodness sakes. 03453 009956 if you're buying this guff, by the way. There were clouds like marshmallow puffs of pink and white. Behind them, the sky was a rich blue-black. This world was not vague. It was deeply, piercingly alive and as vivid as the aroma of fried chicken. Heaven smells of fried chicken? I know perfectly well how crazy my account sounds. Well, I don't. The thing is, Eben, I don't think you know how crazy. Can you believe all this nonsense, Trevor?
No.
Above the sky,
Load of old pony.
all my senses are blended. Before I begun to, he sees some angels, right, and then he hears some music. It was the sound of sheer joy. They could no more hold it in than you could fill your lungs and never breathe. During this, here we go. During this voyage, I had a guide. She was an extraordinary, beautiful woman who first appeared as I rode as that speck of awareness on the wing of that butterfly. Oh, my God. The thing is, the newspapers have given 2 pages to this rubbish, and then it says, on Monday, meet the man who met his guardian angel. What a load of old rubbish.
What paper was that in?
That's it. That's in the Daily Mail.
Ooh, I would expect you were going to say the Sun or the Star.
No, that was the Mail. The Mail's a proper newspaper.
Well, yeah,
and they're printing that rubbish. I can't. 03453 009956, because there will be people, I'm sure, who A, believe in heaven, and B, believe that heaven is a place on earth. No, hang on, that's Belinda Carlisle, who also believe that that's what heaven would be like. I'm not buying it, guys. It's those people who have near-death experiences as well. You know, where they're on the operating table and then they die and then they see a white light and then their mum says, it's not time for you to join us yet. Go back. You've still got work to do. It's all a load of rubbish, isn't it, Trev?
Yeah, of course.
Of course it is. What have you got for us this morning, boss?
Anyway, you wanted films, iconic films?
Oh, yeah, we're looking for the 8... Michael Owen, the football man, this is what I said earlier. Footballers are thick men with too much money. Michael Owen has only ever watched 8 films. 8 films.
Mm.
So we're looking to find the 8 best films of all time. We've got 5 of them so far. What have you got for us?
Well, I've mentioned to your young lady one, and I thought of another one afterwards. My favourite film of all time, The Italian Job, the original
Can I
one.
just say, Trev, if the young lady you're referring to is producer Joe, you've got one of those words wrong in the description. Well, actually, you got both of them wrong.
Until I see her, I can't say, can I? I'd like to err on the better side of judgment.
You old flirt, you, Trev.
Yes, I know.
The Italian Job is a good...
The original one, not that American load of rubbish.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to put The Italian Job at number 8. Go on.
And Get Carter, and not the second one either.
No. You're a big man, but you're out of shape.
Why?
No, that's a line.
Yeah.
You're a big man, but is that the film? Yeah. Is that the film where Michael Caine tosses Alf Roberts off the top of a car park?
Yeah. Flung him straight off the top of a
it's
car
good that
park.
bit, isn't it? It's good that. It's a good film, but I'm not having it in the top 8 films of all time.
Why not?
No, mate, come on.
It's brilliant when he walks out the front of that house with a 12-ball shooter and nothing else on.
Do you know what? I might see if that's on Netflix and have a bit of that tonight. But
it's
not.
a good film.
It's
really
not.
The second one was rubbish with Stallone.
Well, why do I don't get that? They've remade, or they're remaking, I'm led to believe, Mary Poppins.
Well, they're remaking Dad's Army, and I bet that won't be as good as the original either.
First of all, first things first, the original Dad's Army, I think we have to accept, guys, and I'm sorry to break the news to you, was never actually funny. We've just been told by our parents that it was funny. But Dad's Army, just like Porridge, never funny. But yet, it's awful that they're making a film of it. Yes.
I don't think that this one will be as good as the original.
Well, the original was terrible, Trev.
No, it wasn't.
They don't like it up. Don't panic. Keep quiet, Pike. Keep quiet, Pike. Keep quiet, Pike.
Don't tell them your name, Pike.
Yeah, utter rubbish, Trevor.
No, it's brilliant.
Thank you very much indeed. Dad's Army and Porridge, never funny. Fools and Horses, not funny. Fawlty Towers, not funny. What's next? Fawlty Towers, and I've just started reading John Cleese's autobiography. That's a dry book. That's not as good as the Michael Palin diaries. But Fawlty Towers, all it is John Cleese. Right, yeah, come here. Right, don't mention them all. That's it. That's all it is. 03453 009956. Anne's in Coventry. Morning, Anne.
Morning.
Dad's Army's not funny, is it?
No.
Thank you very much indeed. Thanks for calling. Where are you, Anne? Are you being attacked by some geese?
No.
Well, there's something very... Are you having it away? What's going on there?
I'm just feeding the birds.
Which birds?
My bird.
What birds are they?
Geese.
So there are how many geese are there?
Oh, 9.
Is every answer you're saying completely made up?
Yes.
I thought so. I thought so. Okay, Anne, it's a very mysterious scenario you've painted there. What can we do for you this morning?
I just wanted to tell you that Elf is the best film. Hello?
Oh, you're like that, and she's probably not listening because she's off with her animals. You're like that dipstick Molly Green, aren't you? Because she keeps banging on about Elf being the best film of all time, and I kind of go along with it, but really it's rubbish, isn't it? It's rubbish, isn't it, Anne?
No.
What's so good about it?
Hello?
Hello? Anne? 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 I seem to have lost Anne. She's like that dipstick Molly Green. Molly won't be listening now, so I can speak freely. Right? Molly it can be a delight to work with. Got a real temper on her. Real temper. And she's always banging on Hang on a minute. Was that Molly Green? She's opened up a holy war now. So it's okay to phone up each other's shows using pseudonyms and different voices, is it? Right. Right, Molly. Oh, you want to play that game, do you? Well, I think we can do that, baby. She's in trouble, producer Joe. Can you make a note? Can you make a note for to remind me next week that Molly's in trouble? Just so I can. Thanks very much indeed. Hey, here's something. Look at this. Tan addicts, £1,000 a month on sunbeds. They shout. That was close. They shout, "You've been tangoed," but I don't care, says Hannah, age 19. Oh, Hannah. I suggest... See, a lot of the papers, I'm reading this from the Mirror, page 27, if you want to read along, to quote one of my colleagues. A teenager is so obsessed with having a tan, she visits 4 sunbed salons a day after spreading bronzer all over her body. This is, and I'm going to say nuts, but this has got to be a mental affliction, hasn't it? It's body dysmorphia, isn't it, where you don't see what other people see. You imagine what your body looks like, and you're not seeing what other people... I'm still getting over Anne. That was brilliant. That was such a terrible voice. Such a terrible... She really is in trouble. Thank you, Anne. Hannah Norman, 19, spends £1,000 a month on sunbeds, going to different shops because the maximum time allowed in one session is 15 minutes. The jewellery saleswoman first became fixated when she was 14. But despite the legal age for customers using a tanning salon being 18, Hannah says she was never asked for ID. Have you ever used a sunbed? Do you remember in the 80s? I grew up in the 80s. You remember this because you're an old man like me. Do you remember in the 80s, like, your best mate's mum would have a sunbed in the spare room? Do you remember that? They'd have a sunbed in the spare room. And you'd go round, and sometimes, if you were lucky... your best mate's mum would be in a bikini with the goggles up, just going in for a bit on the sunbed. They've been there for like 2 hours. I'm not a fan of suntans. I've never seen the attraction of particularly having a suntan or particularly going on a sunbed. The single teen from Cwmbran. Cwmbran, is that a place? In South Wales, it must be. There's not enough vowels in it, so it must be Welsh. Cwmbran said, I put fake tan on when I wake up, then I go for a £10 session on a sunbed. Then when I'm at work, I use my breaks to go for more. If I see somebody who's darker than me, I get jealous. And I wished I looked like... What does she mean by when I see someone who looks darker than me? Look, what? I see people who look darker than me all the time. I get jealous and it makes me feel happier when I'm darker. I did try to give up, but I couldn't. Hannah, who lives at home with parents Bryn and Deb... Oh, Bryn, your supper's ready, Bryn. Are you going to come down for your supper, Bryn? It's Welsh, isn't it? Forks out 2/3 of her monthly income on her obsession and even started an extra job at a clothes shop. I feel sorry for this girl. I know we're supposed to point and laugh. I think this is what this story is encouraging us to do. But I feel sorry for that. Oh, no. To make it even worse, do you know who she hangs out with? Oh, no. Get a goth. Her best mate's a goth. This is brilliant. The teenager's tan appears even more extreme when she's out with her best friend Elizabeth, 19, a goth who prides herself on her pale skin. Can you believe that, Mohammed?
No.
She spends £1,000 a month on a tan, then she goes and hangs out with a goth.
Well, I was going to say, wouldn't she be better off spending £1,000 a month, travel to all the hot countries in the world, and she might even learn something while she's doing it?
Hey, do you know what? That's a really sensible idea. Yeah. I know she's working, but she could take a couple of days off a week, have a long weekend, and go to Morocco, Spain. I don't need to list the hot countries. I'm sure you know most of them, dear listener. You don't need me to fill it. I think it's sad. She's obviously got something wrong with her, but
and she's going to end up with skin cancer.
I've got a friend. So you may be surprised to hear. I've got a friend a bloke who's constantly putting on the fake tan, the spray. I don't get it. Why would you?
Horrible.
Why do? It's the fake tan that then extends onto the plastic surgery. What? Just, hey man, listen. Be happy with what you got.
Why can't you just be proud of the colour you are? I'm all right with my colour skin.
Yeah, I'm all right with my colour skin. You know, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't get. And I can't imagine paying money to go and sit on a sunbed. I just don't understand. If someone could understand it, there must be someone listening to this show now who has done this, who has not necessarily spent £1,000 a month, but has done the fake tan, has done the sunbed. 03453 009956.
If she wants to take me all around the hot countries with her, I don't mind. But I'll cover my skin.
I've got a feeling, Mohammed, she probably wouldn't want to go with you.
Why not?
You don't sound like...
I'm an intelligent guy.
I don't think she's after intelligence. I got a feeling that what she's after, you wouldn't be able to give her. Do you know what I'm saying? Thank you very much. Anything else, Mohammed?
No. Hey, just look after your cat and make sure she don't bring no fleas in.
My cat is. Thank you, Matt. My cat is flea free. Here's something. You know, every year you take your cat for the injection, right? Here's something. Every year you take your cat for injections for the vets, get your boosters. Yeah, every year, right? Costs about 80 quid, 75 quid. I haven't done it for 5 years. My cat's still alive. My cat, producer Joe is saying, you've never done it for yours. I used to do it religiously. Got the little booklet and we get the stamp and all of that. 75, 85 quid, something like that. I've not done it for the last 5 years. And my cat is as healthy as she's ever been. It's a conspiracy by vets to make money. By the way, you know, if you're a vet, it's like having a money printing machine in the back office, isn't it? Ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Vets are raking it in. They've got money pouring out of their backsides. But you don't need to get, again, you know, don't necessarily take on any medical advice that I might be giving you. But you don't need, hey Dave, you don't need to take your cat to get the injections.
No, well, I haven't got a cat, actually. I've got a dog.
Well, then you don't need to take your dog to get... the dogs need annual injections.
Well, yeah, we treat ours with flea treatment once every 3 months.
It's a con. It's all a con. Velvet's not got fleas. She's never had fleas. She's not got anything wrong with her, and she doesn't have the injections or the flea treatment. She's just a happy, content old lady.
But you see, obviously, she's well looked after. She doesn't come across anything that's got irritations to pass on.
I think she finds my children quite irritating. But
I find children irritating.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Apart from that. What have you got for us, Dave?
This heaven story. Actually, I'll just be honest, it's a good job me and you aren't together in the studio, because the things you've been coming out with this morning, I think we could put the world to rights in 5 minutes, because I agree with practically everything you said.
Oh, blimey.
Sunbeds. They want to set fire to them.
Honestly, if there's something we didn't need in the world, it's a sunbed. We don't need it. Let's close all those sunbed shops down and reopen Blockbusters. No, not Blockbusters. Let's do something useful with them. We don't need them.
It's just for posers.
It's just for posers.
This girl, I'll be honest, she sounds like she's got the IQ of a beer can.
It doesn't give her IQ, but I suspect that she's got something wrong with her. I suspect that she's not, she has some kind of condition in her head that means she will never be happy with what she does.
No, precisely. And this heaven story, by the way, I thought was hilarious.
It's good, wasn't it? He's written it as though it actually happened.
Yeah, you see, I'm a pagan. I don't believe in heaven and hell the same as a lot of other people do that believe in heaven and hell. Yeah. I believe that you go back to the spirit of the earth, and if the spirit of the earth is in good condition, then every spirit does its thing.
You said you'd agree with nearly everything I'd said.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking guff.
Oh, I know I am. I usually do.
Good lad, go on.
I just I've been into different various religions. I've read lots of things.
Yeah.
I was a Christian for a long time. I was raised as a Christian by my family.
Yeah.
And I just got to thinking after I joined it. I'm not going to tell you who I joined. So I joined one of these sects.
Yeah.
Sort
Go
of
on,
churches.
I've only got 30 seconds because I'm a bit late for the travel. So sorry to rush you, but go on.
That's all right. It's just that nobody ever seems to follow what it says. If they read the Bible and they follow it, I could understand it. But half of them are hypocrites.
Yeah. Dave, that's a good point to end there. Thank you very much. 03453 009956. Here's a thought. You know when you die, that's just it, isn't it? Game over. BBC WM 95.6. Let's get the travel with Liz Saul.
Thanks, Ian. In Wolverhampton is looking very congested, particularly on the inbound side. The closure at Bilston Street as you make your way around there, the eastern side of the roundabout, is shut all weekend. Buses are having to divert around Middle Cross. There's a lot of congestion all the way back along Willenhall Road as you head inbound. So you're going to find a lot of congestion in and around the centre of Wolverhampton this morning. As you head to Great Bar, Queslett Road is heavy going both ways, approaching the A34 around Scott Arms traffic lights. Hagley Road is busy again towards Five Ways Island into Birmingham, as are inbound routes such as through Selly Oak, the A38 around the Triangle towards Edgbaston and on Kings Heath High Street. Round Dudley it's looking slow on the bypass between Cinderbank Island and Castlegate Island. And as you head towards the M42 around Junction 6, you expect a bit of congestion as the motorhome and caravan show going on. Your matchday travel sees Villa fans heading to Everton for this afternoon's match. Along the M6 isn't looking too bad so far as you head north towards the M62. Wolves fans are going south on the M6 to the M1, then the M25. They're at Millwall this afternoon. Expect congestion on the A12 as you head into London. That's a route that tends to be quite busy, particularly on a Saturday. If you can update us, call BBC WM 95.6 travel 08453 002288.
The voice of Birmingham in the Black Country.
BBC WM
95.6.
I do apologise. I was having a little chitty chat there. You know, what can I tell you? 03453 009956. We're kind of making the show up as we go along. Little recap: best ways to keep warm. You shouldn't have your heating on now. It's only where are we? The 18th of October, something like. It's only October. Put another jumper on. Put some I bought some new slippers. Marks and Spencer's, £17. Every time I go, I buy the same pair of slippers because I know they work, mate. I'm not going to mess with the foot. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know they work, and I love it. Quite beautiful. New slippers. Bought some new socks. Bought some massage pants this week. Massage pants. Edgar.
Hi.
Do you know what massage pants are?
No, I don't.
Shall I tell you what massage pants are?
Go ahead.
For my underwear of choice, I normally wear shorts.
All right.
But if I were to go for a massage in just those shorts, do you know what would happen?
No.
He'd pop out.
He'd pop out.
So I've got massage shorts. They're, I think, do they call them trunks? So they're tight. There's no gappage between the leg and the short.
I see.
You see? So that masseuse can flip-flop me any way he or she wants. I'm not bothered.
I see.
And nothing is going to pop out to say hello that shouldn't. The soldiers will remain in their barracks.
Yes.
Which is great.
Understand.
So I can now go and have a little massage this week, and I can feel confident. I'm not clenching anything. I can relax and not let it all hang out.
I see.
Good news, Edgar. Have you got massage pants?
No.
You should get some.
No, I don't really need them.
Do you not go for a massage?
No.
Oh, Edgar. Go for a massage.
Than that.
Go for a massage. And also, do you know what? I prefer it when it's a bloke. First time it's a little bit weird because you think,
I beg your pardon?
I prefer it when it's a bloke pounding me. First time you think, it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird. But actually, it's not. It's not sexual, Edgar. It's nothing sexual or sleazy or seedy about it. A man has got the strength to pound me and put me in my place and really knock me in shape.
No, something is not right.
I love paying a man to just give it to me hard. And I come out and I feel like I've really been worked over. And it's wonderful.
I tell you something. I've been to a doctor once,
Yeah.
And of course, when I went in his waiting room, he took me into another room, and this is to take your clothes off.
Yes, Edgar, can you turn your radio off? Because this story's really good, and I want to hear it without the weird...
One sec.
Unless you're in heaven, I don't know. It's miles away. It's back.
Is that better? Hello? Hello? Hello, Iain?
That's much better, Edgar, thank you.
Okay. Yes. And I went to this doctor, and he took me into this room and to take my clothes off. Yes, I did.
Yeah, fine. And there's nothing strange about that. He's a doctor.
Yeah, but it was nothing relating to my body. It was just, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Oh, so you had a sore throat and he made you strip naked?
Right, okay. So when I came out of this room, I mean, he came in and he was glorifying my body.
He was glorifying your body?
How nice it is and how, clean and all that kind of
And how
stuff.
pert it was.
And I felt crony.
You felt what?
Crony.
Crony?
Yes, crony. I felt,
What does crony mean?
I felt horrible, in other words.
Yeah.
And I thought,
Crony.
this is not a doctor.
No.
And I left his surgery. It was a private visit anyway, and I said, never again in my life.
And he left you feeling crony?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you got a nice body?
Well, I should say yes.
Yeah? And well, if a doctor... So if he wasn't a doctor, Edgar, who was he that made you feel crony?
Well, I'm saying from the performance, I did not accept his assertions and my body.
How did he take your temperature?
How did he take my temperature?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember, to be honest.
Gosh.
I don't remember, but that's what sticks out in my mind.
Something was sticking out, yeah.
I was talking to another colleague, a few more, and they says, yes, that's his attitude. Wherever people go, whether you're a man or a woman, you have to strip naked. And I thought,
Wow. That's odd for a doctor, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, Edgar, I'm glad you're not feeling crony now, are you?
No.
Good stuff. What have you got for us, Ed?
Right. Yes, it's about this heaven thing,
Yeah.
Now, first and foremost, that guy, he had a blackout somewhere, he's just talking stupidness, really.
Yeah.
But you did say a while ago that you don't believe in heaven. When a person dies, that's the end
My
of it.
theory is, when a person dies, that's it. Light switches off. Good night, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Game
okay.
over.
Yeah, but you see, Iain, I tell you, I'm grateful to know that this is why God is God, because he doesn't listen to man's reasoning and he's not been swayed by man's belief or man's opinion.
Well, yes, okay, yes.
So therefore, after death comes the judgment, and this is the final. And of course, when we are living in this life, if we serve God, and I don't mean from a religious point of view, I'm talking about born again, a Christian.
Yes.
Is
it when you're in judgment? And I'm going to say this because it's kind of like a reference that people will get. I don't mean it flippantly. Is it like being on the first round of the X Factor? That you kind of walk onto, and do you walk onto a stage and like God is sat there, and instead of having Louis on one side, he's got St. Peter, and instead of having Cheryl, he's got the Holy Ghost, and God is Simon Cowell. Is it like that?
No. The work you do, the life you live, the life you and I live on this earth, will determine where our future lies.
Okay.
Hell or heaven, okay?
What is heaven like?
Heaven is a holy place filled with glory and with grace. No sin can enter there.
We've been told that you can get cheap Xbox games. Is that true?
I tell you...
Because Call of Duty is very expensive.
Yeah. Britain is built on gossips, and of course, they love the gossips in this country, to be honest. They thrive on it.
Yes.
They thrive on it. So anybody can say what they like about heaven or hell. That's all right.
But you know.
But I know. I know because, you see, the Holy Scripture, in this country, the laws of this country was foundated upon the Scripture. Hence, when you go to court in this country,
they swear. You get to swear in the Bible. Edgar, listen, I could listen to your description of heaven all morning. Thank you very much indeed. What's in your heaven? Cheap Xbox games, barbecue Pringles, because you can't always get those. And I guess just an eternal feeling of love, compassion and bliss. 03453 009956. Rav, you've been there for ages. Morning, Rav.
Morning, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you very much. What you got for us?
Right, this top 8 films.
Yeah, go on.
Rocky, mate.
No.
It's got to be Rocky all
No.
day long.
No.
Why?
No. It's not that good.
Okay, why?
It's not that...
Yeah.
Which is the one with Mr T in? Is that Rocky 3?
3.
Yeah. I prefer Rocky 3 over Rocky 1.
You know what? For me, Rocky was just inspirational. The first one.
Why? Are you a boxer?
It didn't get me. No, it didn't get me off the box.
Do you work in a butcher's?
Nah.
Is your wife not as good looking as you are?
No, she's fit.
Because that's good for you, mate. Correct answer.
She's better looking than me by far.
Yeah, you're batting out your league. Well done, fella. Aren't we
Mate,
all?
yeah, of course.
Aren't we all? Exactly. There's an interesting thing, isn't there, that you do sometimes you see like really, really hot women or really, really hot... No.
And you think the partner's ugly.
It never goes the other way around. You see really, really hot women with ugly men.
Yeah.
You never see really, really hot men with ugly women.
Ugly women. No,
how does that work? Is it? To speak bluntly, is it a sexual thing? You know, are they dynamite in the sack? Is it a money thing? How does that work?
You know what? It could be a mix of everything. You know, a money thing. Dynamite in the sack. I don't know. All I know, my missus is fit, and I'm happy with that.
Because here's the thing, right? Lembit Opik, right? He's an unusual-looking gentleman. I'm being polite,
right.
But he would always get, and I mean, apart from the cheeky girls, really, really hot girlfriends. Yeah. And he's not got that much money. I don't know what he's like in the bedroom, but how does that work? He's got a good sense of... He's a funny bloke, you know. He's got a good sense of... Is that it? Is that enough?
It's beyond me, mate. But listen, there's another film as well.
Go on, because I'm not allowing Rocky.
Right. You ready?
Yeah.
Right, it's called Don't Be a Menace to South City Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Have you just won a bet by saying that sentence?
No, seriously, it's a film. It was a Mickey take of Menace to Society in New Jack City.
Right. What's it called?
Right, it's called Don't Be a Menace.
Hang on a minute, write this down, because this is going at number 7, just for the title. Don't be...
Be a Menace.
Yeah.
To South City Central.
To South City Central.
While drinking your juice in the hood.
While drinking your...
Juice in the hood.
Oh, that's number 7 in the list of films.
Mate, watch it. It's funny.
All right, I probably won't, but Rav, thank you. We've got 7 of the top 8. We've only got room for number 1. I'll tell you after 11. After 11, I'll go through them. Ben reckons he can add one. Go on, Ben. What have you got?
Hello. I reckon, along with what did you say, Rocky, Rambo, something of Sylvester Stallone. Rambo.
No, the Rambo. The First Blood is a good film.
Yeah.
But then when he started being Rambo, they just started being a little bit silly. I didn't buy. And hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with silly films. Trust me, I didn't buy into the whole Rambo mythology. Really, First Blood's a great film. Not one of the best 8 of all time, though.
What about some of the gangster films like Scarface or Goodfellas?
Well, say hello to my little friends. Say hello to my little friends.
Al Pacino, that's quality.
Al Pacino. Do you know what? I've not seen Scarface for years. I might dig that out tonight. It's a good...
No.
Say hello to my little friends.
3.5 hours, though, isn't it? It's quite a long film.
Oh, is it? Oh, I shan't bother then. He's good, Al Pacino. He's done some good films. I tell you, my favourite Al Pacino film, and hardly anyone's seen it.
What's that one?
Dog Day Afternoon.
How old's that?
About 1977. It's based on a true story. Him and his mate go and do an armed robbery in a bank. It goes horribly, horribly wrong. It's supposed to be in and out. They end up taking hostages there for about 2 days. It's brilliant.
Can you still get that now?
You can still get it now. It's a Dog Day Afternoon. I think it may have been up for an Oscar or so. It's a brilliant film. Every now and then they'll show it really late at night. It's great. My favourite Al Pacino film. It's wonderful.
I'll have to look that up. It's called how amazing your shows as well.
Hey, Ben, you're very, very kind. Thank you very much indeed. 03453 009956. Oh, for a long time, Dog Day Afternoon was not just my favourite Pacino film. It was my favourite film. It's a masterpiece. Hardly anyone's seen it. It's so old. It's a great film. Oh, and breathe. Last hour of the show coming up. Have we actually spoken about anything yet? I don't think... We've certainly not done any of the stories we were planning to do. Oh, man. OK, so what would heaven be like for you? Your tips for keeping warm. We need one more film to compile the 8 best films of all time. And if you've used a sunbed or one of these tanning salons, can you explain to me why? 03453 009956.
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
BBC WM 95.6.
Let's get the news now. Here's Chris Blakemore.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. And workers from the West Midlands are joining others from around the country for a rally in London today called Britain Needs a Pay Rise. 300 people have caught a train from Moore Street Station in Birmingham, and there are coaches there from Wolverhampton, Walsall and Dudley as well. Andy Chaffer works in mental health in Birmingham. He's at today's rally.
Some workers are having to go to food banks. Some workers are going to payday loans. People can't afford to get food to the end of a month. They're doing a fair day's work. They're working on average 37.5 hours a week in the NHS.
In a statement released today, the government says pay restraint in the public sector has actually helped to safeguard jobs. Police are investigating claims that someone's firing a BB gun at the windows of houses on a road in Birmingham. They're looking at CCTV pictures from Coldbath Road in Billesley. They want anyone who knows anything to contact the police in Stetchford. The families of at least 9 British trekkers who were in the Himalayas when snowstorms hit on Thursday are still waiting for news of their relatives. The missing people's names have been posted on a Facebook page by their relatives. The Foreign Office say they've got no information so far. Campaigners working to secure the release of more than 200 schoolgirls kidnapped in Nigeria by the Islamist group Boko Haram have welcomed reports that they could be freed. The girls were taken from a school in the northeastern town of Chibok 6 months ago. It's thought the girls could be released after the military in Nigeria agreed a ceasefire with Boko Haram. Rotimi Olawale is from the Bring the Girls Back Home campaign.
We have a sense of caution as we treat this news and continue to watch the development as it unfolds in the coming days. But again, we are hopeful that the girls will be released as soon as possible so that they can reunite with their families.
Residents at a care home in the Black Country have been moved to alternative accommodation after the company which operates it went into administration. Elysian Care Limited, which ran Knoll House in Wolverhampton, had been suffering serious financial difficulties. Its other facility, the Homestead in Stourbridge, is being kept open by administrators. That's until residents can find another home to live in. Now, as always on a Saturday, big day of football, and you can keep across all the action here on BBC WM 95.6. In the Premier League, Villa go to Everton without Fabian Delph, who's out until the new year with a dislocated shoulder. We'll have updates from Goodison Park this afternoon. In the Championship, Wolverhampton Wanderers' trip to Millwall will be live here on BBC WM 95.6 this afternoon. Head coach Kenny Jackett is returning to his former club for the first time since coming to Molineux 2 summers ago. Birmingham City will be seeking to build on the 4 points they picked up from their last 2 away trips as they host Bolton Wanderers at St Andrews this afternoon. There'll be commentary on BBC WM DAB in Birmingham from 3 o'clock. In League One, Walsall also face bottom-of-the-table opposition as Crewe Alexandra visit the Banks's Stadium. Just 5 points separate the pair, and the Saddlers manager Dean Smith says there's not too much difference between the two clubs.
They've got young players that come through their academy, and they're very similar to ourselves. And it's tough in this league because there's a lot of good teams in here, you know, who sometimes the likes of ourselves and Crewe can't compete with financially to get the players in. But what we do, the two of us, is make ourselves competitive, and I know it'll be a competitive, good football game on Saturday.
West Brom, meanwhile, they're not in action until Monday night when they're at home to Man United. Another game you can hear live here on BBC WM 95.6. And the weather then. Any rain will clear to leave a dry and sunny day with highs of 19 Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit. Dry and mild tonight with lows of 13 Celsius, 55 Fahrenheit. Tomorrow for the Great Birmingham Run, it's going to be dry and sunny again with highs of 17 Celsius, 63 Fahrenheit. BBC WM 95.6 News and Sport. There's more online at bbc.co.uk/WM.
The
voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
You should take in other religions and treat them as you would want to be treated yourself.
We are even more intelligent. They treated me with the utmost respect.
Iain Lee, Saturdays
9 till 12.
BBC WM 95.6.
Thank you for indulging us this morning. It's been a very, very odd show this morning. We've done hardly anything that producer Joe and I had planned to talk about. Turns out there's no point in you doing any prep in the week, Joe. Just rock up at 9 on a Saturday. You've been very kind and very indulgent. Thank you very much indeed. Let me give you a little recap. We're trying to compile the 8 best films of all time. I think we got 7. We need one more. And by the way, when this list is complete, it is open for negotiation. If you can name something better, I'll go through the 7 we've got in a minute. Tips for keeping warm, please. We've already had having a jacket potato in your pocket and then eating it for lunch. Hot stones in the bed. These are real things. These are real things that people do. Jonathan Ross is one of Britain's greatest talents. Then why is everybody phoning up to slag him off this morning? What would your heaven be like? I know, these are all... I'm getting paid for this. Oh, and there's probably some other stuff. 03453 009956.
Have your say.
Across the West Midlands, call
03453 009956.
BBC WM 95.6.
I feel I should give some money back to my boss. I'm enjoying this too much. No, I'm enjoying it. This isn't a job. Yesterday, by the way, producer Joe and I do a show on Fridays now. It's week 4, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fridays, 2 till 4. So Sonny and Shay do the whole week, Monday to Thursday, and then we do Fridays 2 till 4, and then we do this. And yesterday's show, if you missed it, go and listen on iPlayer, because it was... Well, my favourite bit, what was the 90-year-old minx that called up... what was her name? Jean, a 90-year-old woman with the sexiest voice. We're talking about your weird crushes. She threw us all off the scent when she said the Cray twins. She had the voice of an angel. So yesterday and today, I've enjoyed it far too much. This is not good. I was talking a bit about... there's a story in the Express about a really expensive lockup. It's in London. It's in London. Everything's expensive. And I had a house in London, and I'm so glad I sold it and moved out. I bought a house somewhere else, obviously. Otherwise, I'd just be lying in a big pile of cash. But I'm glad I moved out. It's ridiculous. 03453 009956 is the phone number. Those are the things we're throwing out there. But as you know, you can come on and you can talk about pretty much anything. That's certainly been the theme of the show this morning. Len's in King's Heath. Good morning to you, Len.
Morning.
What have you got for us, Lenneth?
One of the best films out was Saving Private Ryan.
Never seen it.
It's a war film.
What happened?
Americans.
What happens in it?
They got to go and get this guy back.
Who?
This Private Ryan.
Oh, okay. It's actually right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the best bits in it is when they get pinned down.
Oh, yeah.
By a Jerry up in the tower.
Oh, a Jerry.
And he's got one of these silencing guns, with the thing on the end. But that was one of the best parts in it.
I've never said... I don't really like war films. The only war film... It's not even a war film, actually. So I don't like war... I like the Odessa File, but that's not a war film, so...
Right.
And I like Marathon Man, even though that's not a war film, but it's got a Nazi in it.
Yeah, but when it comes round again, you must watch it.
I'll have some of that, Len. Thank you.
It's a long film.
Yeah.
But it's good. Tom Hanks is in it.
Oh, Hanks. Yeah, I like a bit of Hanksy. Everyone likes a bit of Hanksy, don't they?
Yeah.
He's good. Len, have you turned your heating on yet?
Not till probably the end of November.
Oh, we have a winner. The end of November?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you just put another sweater on.
Oh, you are. I love you, Len. Yeah, you're right. We've had people who've had their heating on since August.
I know, Ranjit.
Ranjit's nuts. Why? Is he made of money? Because having the heating on, let's be honest, it costs a flipping fortune, doesn't it?
Well, he works in the chip shop, doesn't he?
Yeah, that would explain it. Len, thank you very much indeed. 03453 009956 is the telephone number. I've never seen Private Ryan. There are big gaps in my knowledge of films, and that's one of them. Mike says, 40 Towers and porridge, not funny, eh? I always thought you were a prat. Now I know you are. They're just not funny, mate. I love John Cleese. One of my favourite comedy films is Monty Python, The Holy Grail. Love it. It's the best Python film. 40 Towers, not funny. And Dad's Army, oh dear. Susan says, Iain, I look forward to your show. But why do you think it's why do you think it's entertainment when you bash the older generation? You've just dissed all the comedy programmes we grew up with and loved. Well, that's not bashing the older generation. That's just saying that those programmes weren't funny. But thinking about it, with you saying Jonathan Ross is our best TV personality, shows you have diabolical taste. I see on the internet you cannot use a hula hoop either. Now, that is a personal attack, Susan. I'm brilliant at the hula hoop. You want to see it? Facebook.com/BBCWM. Do you remember there was a craze? Not the twins. There was a craze a while ago. Go through all these fitness fabs. So there was Taibo. There was Pilates. There was your good old-fashioned yoga. There was the hot yoga where you do it in like a steam room and you all pass out. There was spinning. I did spinning a few times. Flipping heck. Oh, if you're going to do spinning, you might as well just go for a bike ride and get somewhere. It is horrible. I don't want to be in a dark room with loud disco music and a woman shouting at me until I nearly puke up my guts. Where's the pleasure in that? You came out feeling worse. But there was a thing, wasn't there, about 5 years ago where hula hoops came back into fashion as a fitness thing. When really, there's not a lot you can do with the hula hoop. You wiggle it around your hips. There are some weirdos that wiggle it around their necks. But that's it. What else can you do with a hula hoop? Keep it clean. 03453 009956. Robert's in West Bromwich. Good morning to you, Robert.
Oh, morning. Well, you said about keeping warm.
I was expecting a man.
It is a muggy, cheeky sod. My voice never broke.
Did it not?
No.
Never?
Right. I've got high-pitched voice.
Oh, blimey. There you go.
Yes. As I was saying, common sense is one. I mean, in the bad weather, you put on thinner clothes and it traps the warmth. If you're in bed, put a pair of socks, pair of gloves and a hat because the head is the highest point of your body.
Right.
If you go out in the morning, it's cold weather, have an ox-out like electric blanket.
Have an electric blanket where? On your head?
No, an ox-out, I said, is like electric blanket.
So where would you put that?
You drink, and you've got cotton in your ears. I said if you have an ox-out in the morning,
right,
it's a hot drink.
I have the equivalent
and
of
it's like
wax in my ears.
blanket in the morning.
But Oxo's gravy?
No, you can put Oxo in a cup with some boiling hot water.
Oh, you are having a laugh.
No, I do it myself many a time.
You drink a cup of gravy for your breakfast?
No, Oxo.
Yeah, but Oxo is gravy, Robert.
It is. You have to put flour and water with it to make it gravy. You are thick.
No, I'm not thick, Oxo.
You are.
No, I'm not thick.
You are.
I'm not thick.
You are. Another thing about your film.
I'm not
what
thick.
About,
No. Go back to the Oxo.
Yeah.
Go back. Let's calm down. We got off on the wrong foot here. Let's calm down. Hello, I'm Ian. Nice to meet you. Oxo, you just mix it with water and that's gravy. That's what Oxo is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It is. You have to put plain flour to make a gravy.
No, you don't. You just mix Oxo with water and it's gravy.
It is not gravy.
It is gravy, Robert.
You want to go back to school, mate?
You want to go back to Oxo College?
No. I've been drinking them enough times.
Well, if it's in a gravy boat, it's gravy. If it's in a cup, it's a drink.
No, but it's not in a gravy boat. It's just an Oxo you crumble into a cup and put boiling on water on it, and it's like a drink. It's not a gravy.
Well,
you put flour to make it gravy.
You don't, Robert, please, you don't have to. That's the beauty of Oxo. You don't have to put...
wait and see if somebody phones up and says the difference then. Anyway, about your film.
03453 009956. Let's put it out there. Is Oxo, when you mix it with water, is that gravy, or do you need a little bit of flour as well?
I was saying about the film.
Yes, go on, what you got?
I'd have said the Dam Busters.
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a good one. I mean, you know, the bouncing bomb.
Yeah.
Pity we can't do something like that with the government, though. Bounce them around. These men gone out for the pay rise.
It's got the...
If I'd have gone, I'd have said they want a rise and they want a cut, the government.
It's got, and don't say it, Robert, it's got the unfortunately named dog in it, hasn't it?
Whose dog?
In the Dam Busters. There's a dog with an unfortunate name that we can't say anymore.
Oh, I don't know about that. I only remember the bouncing bomb, and then it hit the dam, you know, the dam and all the water and that.
I think it's or is it... Oh, no, maybe it's Bridge on the River Kwai, then, that's got the dog with the unfortunate name
No,
in.
I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
But I say, as you get cold towards Christmas, you try that. An Oxo, socks on your feet, hat on your head and gloves.
A cup of gravy.
And molted sweaters.
And have a cup of gravy.
No, Oxo.
Yeah, which is gravy.
Well, you say what you like, I'll say what I like.
Robert, nice to talk to you. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, see you, bye.
Ta-ta. 03453 009956. I think I know where the rest of the show is going. Oxo is gravy, isn't it? They were the Oxo family. At no point did Linda Bellingham... did she say in the advert with the bald fella, oh, you've got to put... by the way, I'm just making Oxo family. I'm just going to put a bit of flour in it. The premise of Oxo is you just sprinkle it. I'm right on this one, aren't I? Robert, I'm sorry. I'm right. 03453 009956. Travel news now. Here's Liz.
Ian, thank you. In Wolverhampton, it's looking very congested. It's the closure of the Bilston Street Island. The east side of the roundabout is shut all weekend between Middle Cross and the Ring Road at St George's. It's causing congestion all the way into the city along the Willenhall Road, the A454 in particular. Local buses are having to be diverted around that as well. The M42 going north, much heavier going than usual towards Junction 6 from 5. The A41 Solihull exit to the NEC turn. There is a big event going on at the NEC, the Moto and Caravan show, so it could be the reason why there's a lot of congestion around there. Through Great Bar is looking heavy going at the Scott Arms traffic lights, Queslett Road junction with the A34. Into Birmingham is looking a bit better on Hagley Road around Five Ways Island. That's sort of in fits and starts this morning. Through Kings Heath is still congested on the High Street, as well as around Dudley on the bypass, the A461 between Castlegate and Cinderbank Island. Your matchday travel sees Villa fans heading north up the M6 to face Everton this afternoon, along the M62 as well. No delays particularly reported. South on the M6 and onto the M1 and then the M25. One or two pockets of traffic for Wolves fans heading down to Millwall for this afternoon's game. Expect the A12 to be congested as you do the last leg of your journey towards South East London. If you can update us, call BBC WM 95.6 Travel 08453 002288.
Friend or foe will share this dream.
And it is that man, Agbonlahor, Hall, who gives Aston Villa the lead.
Let rivalries return. Get behind your team.
And Paul Downing puts Walsall 3-1 up.
You always need someone to share every moment. We'll be there till the season's end.
Great ball, Thomas, root for the net, and Blues are in front.
Your club is our club. The goal horn awaits, my football friend.
The station for commentary this season.
BBC WM
95.6.
Just had a message on my... Phones are great, aren't they? Well, it is a statement, isn't it? But they are great. And I've got that WhatsApp thing finally. And my little boy just sent me a 12-second message saying, hello, Dada, I've just eaten ice cream. Are you working? Isn't that great? And I could listen to that during that advert. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful, Kevin? We're living in the future.
Hello there.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello, mate.
No, but this is a voice not to mess around with. What have you got for us, Kev?
The lady's right. It's a beef drink. It's a flavouring. To make gravy out of Oxo, you've got to add corn flour and water.
No, you're wrong.
No. You're thinking Bisto. Bisto, you add water and that's gravy.
No.
Oxo is a drink.
Kevin?
People having a football match every Sunday or whatever.
That's Bovril.
And Oxo and Bovril, it's a drink.
Right, Kevin, stay there. Val?
Yeah?
Who's right on this one, please?
We're right, you're wrong.
Sorry?
We're right and you're wrong. We have a cup of Oxo in the winter, about 11 o'clock every day.
So you have a cup of gravy?
No, cup of Oxo.
Well, you have a cup of gravy every day, but it tastes meaty, yeah?
Well, no, it's just nice.
Well, Kevin, what does it taste of?
It tastes like Bovril.
Well, OK, that helps.
No, I've never had Bovril,
well, apparently,
I have Oxo.
Well, Kevin, what does Bovril taste like?
Like Oxo.
Oh, flipping heck. As I was saying that, I knew you'd come back with a smart aleck remark.
A little bit of pepper in it, and it's lovely. They're both roughly the same drink.
But what are they? They're beefy, aren't they?
They're a beef drink, yeah.
Why would you want to drink a beef drink? It sounds disgusting.
No.
Some people don't like tea or coffee.
But so when Oxo... Right, Val, so the Oxo, you mean the Oxo cubes, yeah?
The Oxo cubes, yeah.
No.
Crush them up, put them in your cup, salt and pepper, hot water.
Mate, you are both... You are both disgusting and deluded. I have made gravy out of Oxo. You just sprinkle it into water and you stir it and there's your gravy.
No.
That's got to be too thin for you then. It's got to be too thin because it's got to have corn flour and water with it to make a gravy.
It doesn't say that on the instructions, though, Kev.
Technically, it don't say it's gravy on the instructions either. It's a beef drink.
Technically, I've never read the instructions on Oxo, if I'm being completely honest. So
I think you'll be apologising to us both when you read the instructions.
Yeah.
Kevin and Val, thank you very much.
Okay.
They're both wrong, though, aren't they? he said, questioning his very existence. Have I got everything wrong in my life? Oxo's not... Oh, I think a mission has been sent out to go and get me some Oxo. I'm not drinking that stuff, though. Oh, I'll have a drink. Go on, then. Make me a cup of Oxo. Linda, I thought Oxo was a gravy.
I've got...
Hello? Sorry? Are you awake? Linda?
Oh, hi. Sorry.
What, are you all right?
Yeah, sorry.
Did you doze off?
No, sorry.
No, don't apologise. It's fine. Are you all right? What's going on?
It's the dog with the unfortunate name. It is the Dam Busters. I know because I've got the film at home. I've seen it.
It's the Dam Busters. The dog has got an unfortunate name. It's called the N-word.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I know it is because I've got the film at home here. I've watched it.
Right, and when they show it on TV, sometimes they bleep it out or they dip the sound. Which I don't think they should do because it's historically accurate. The dog was called the N-word.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, and as uncomfortable as it may be, if that film is going to be a vaguely accurate portrayal of the time, then we should know what was going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's definitely that film.
Linda, we're one film short of our 8 best films of all time. What would you put in there?
The Great St. Trinian's Train Robbery.
But seriously, what film would you put in there?
That would be the one I put in.
Really?
It's brilliant.
The Great... Do you know what? I'm going to put it in. The only spot we've got left is number 1. The Great St. Trinian's Train Robbery. This is the original St. Trinian's, isn't it, with Arthur Daly?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, I've not seen a St. Trinian's film for a long, long time.
It's brilliant. It really is absolutely side-splittingly funny.
Linda, thank you very much indeed. Side-splittingly... Imagine if your sides literally split. Didn't someone die watching Monty Python once? I'm sure this is true. Someone will back me up on this. I'm sure someone died watching Monty Python. They laughed so much. And I can't think what the sketch was. Was it the cheese shop sketch? I think it was the cheese shop sketch. 03453 009956. We're talking about films. Why? Because Michael Owen has only seen 8 of them. I mean, flippin' heck. What an idiot. We've got Richard Fitzwilliams, film critic. Morning, Richard.
Good morning. He's certainly extraordinary. I mean, it wouldn't be so different if he'd seen, say, 8 ballets or 8 operas. Film is the art of the 20th century. It influences so much of what we do. That's why it's just simply bizarre.
You probably, being a film critic at your peak, you probably got round to watching, 8 films over 3 days sometimes.
Oh, you watch. I mean, I no idea how many I've watched. I mean, this goes back over half a century, and I couldn't believe in the same piece in The Independent, it had Sir Peter Stothart, the editor of the Times Literary Supplement. He thinks he's seen 12, the last in 40 years ago, which was Sleuth with Michael Caine and Laurence Olivier, and the reason, because he doesn't like arguing. This is what is so ridiculous. One of the fascinating aspects of films is you go with a friend and you see and you exchange views and argue sometimes, and he saw Cleopatra 50 years ago and had an argument with his girlfriend, and that's put him off for life. How feeble.
That's one of the joys. This is why I prefer, although it's a bit expensive, I prefer going to the cinema. I prefer the joint experience of sharing a film with people, and then you go out and you get a bite to eat with your friends, and you go, that was brilliant. No, that was rubbish. But what about this bit? No, this bit was really... You discuss it, you take it apart, you argue. The experience carries on after the 90-minute film, doesn't it?
Absolutely the case, although unfortunately most people do get the experience such as it is on the small screen, whether on DVD or television. And
or their telephones now. Imagine watching a film on your telephone.
I think that there's no limit, whether it's the iPad or the iPhone or whatever you might... computers, it does diminish the experience, but it is still very often interesting. But I agree so much with your point that you go with a friend and you swap ideas, and that really is enriching. You can argue, you can also change your mind, and you can also influence someone else's thought. But the cinema, I mean, it's got so much to offer. And if you're looking at some of the great films, I mean, my favourite film, but I think also the best epic ever made, and I think most people might well agree, Lawrence of Arabia. Now, there was a film, I quite recently attended the commemoration of the life and work of Peter O'Toole at the Old Vic, and I actually met Omar Sharif, and my goodness,
wow.
The images that brought back, especially that extraordinary scene where he appears through that mirage. I mean, this film, its script, its acting, its photography, and also just the fact that it conveyed the essence of a mesmeric and eccentric genius. It really was fantastic.
I tell you what's good as well. You're right. Seeing old films that you're really familiar with, that maybe you've only ever seen on DVD, then going and seeing it in a cinema. Years ago, actually, I went and saw some Laurel and Hardy films in the cinema. And I knew these films pretty well, but to be in a room with 100 other people all laughing is just so life-affirming. I also saw, and I can't remember the name of it, it's a Robert Mitchum film, the one where he plays the psychopathic priest. I think, is it Night of the Hunter?
Night of the Hunter with Charles Dalton directing, yeah.
To see that in a cinema was just thrilling. You know, it's this film that's 60 years old, but to see it with 100 other people was fantastic.
Oh, it makes such a difference. Although, of course, you could argue the audience, if they talk or possibly eat popcorn, I mean, it does very much depend on the sort of audience. If you go with other film critics, as I do very often, obviously that's very different. And the other thing is so many screenings when you go, with a lot of exceptions, you don't get vast numbers of people unless a particularly popular film.
We're trying to compile, Richard, the top 8 films of all time. Can I give you the list as supplied by our listeners?
Yes,
See
sure.
what you think. So, number 8, the original Italian Job.
Passable, but not that exceptional.
I think you might disagree with quite a few of these.
I have a feeling I might have Centrinians is coming into it, yes.
Flipping it. Number 7, now I've never heard of this. Apparently this is a real film. Don't be a menace to South City Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
No, I think someone's having you on.
OK, number 6, Back to the Future 2.
Didn't see it and didn't want to see it.
Whoa, Richard, stop the clock. You didn't want to see Back to the Future 2?
No.
Why?
Well,
it's marvellous.
I'll take your word for it.
Number 5, start the clock, South Pacific.
The musical was agony, and I never saw the original film. It was before my time a bit.
You are my favourite film critic of all time, because I love you. Number 4, Ghostbusters 2.
Again, avoided.
Number 3, Drink Your Milk, starring John Wayne.
Well, I'd rather see Genghis Khan starring John Wayne, which actually was made, would you believe?
I know, and there's a very weird scene in Genghis Khan where I think it's Genghis Khan, where he's addressing like a group of people, and he stood there just speaking, but it sounds like he's speaking through a megaphone. They put a weird effect on his voice.
Well, there's a famous part of the John Wayne as Genghis Khan when he says to Marco Polo, "Hello, boy, come in, sit down, and have a drink." It equates to the famous John Wayne part. I mean, whoever chose him as a centurion in George Stevens' greatest story ever told, and he says, truly, when he's standing at the cross, this man is the Son of God. And apparently they had so many takes, and George Stevens gets impatient and says, John, say it with awe. So Wayne solemnly intones, awe, truly.
John Wayne always played John Wayne in a film. Number 2, you might like this one, Mary Poppins.
Oh, I love Mary Poppins.
It's a great film.
And to see Saving Mr. Banks recently was a joy.
Are they remaking Mary Poppins? Is that right?
No, as far as I know, not. But they did make Saving Mr. Banks, which was about the making of it with Tom Hanks and Emma Thompson, and it worked a treat. It's very good.
And at number 1, The Great Centrinians Train Robbery. Well, I don't know. What was your favourite film? But give us your top 3 films of all time, Richard, if you can.
Well, I'm going to give you 8 because that's what I put here because it's so difficult to choose.
Tell us what you got.
Lawrence of Arabia, brilliant epic. Saving Private Ryan changed the genre of war movies. Were really superb. The opening battle, particularly. The Third Man, Carol Reed's movie in post-war Vienna, and so atmospheric, brilliantly made with that theme.
Orson Welles is in that, isn't he?
Oh, yes,
that scene where he pops out from the doorway.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, unforgettable. Apocalypse Now, you've got the horror of war as you've never seen it before or since. A surreal experience. Psycho reminds me of Hitchcock's little joke and, quote, don't give away the ending. It's the only one we have. Battle of Algiers, Gillo Pontecorvo's documentary-style movie. And it was so evenly balanced until the end. It's absolutely superb about the Algerian Civil War. Citizen Kane, where you have to give Orson Welles a nod as the boy wonder, and this is the movie that used to top the lists. Vertigo now does, the best film ever made. Throne of Blood, which was Kurosawa's visual rendering of Shakespeare's Macbeth, absolutely brilliant. And My Fair Lady, I've got to add on, simply as a nod to a musical that I deeply love because it was so witty and brilliantly cast. And most recently, Blue is the Warmest Colour, which won at Cannes, and I thought was absolutely mesmerising, simply because it was so natural, as so many foreign or continental films tend to be, but this was very special.
Richard, very quickly, and I could talk to you all morning, what should we be looking out for that's coming out soon?
Well, I mean, for example, I'm following the London Film Festival, and very, very shortly you'll be able to see Mike Leigh's Mr. Turner, which is a fascinating film, both for the brilliance way Leigh improvises, the script, the visuals, but also rather curiously crude portrayal of Turner. Very, very fine performance by Timothy Spall, but I was trying to find out how real this was and how true to the actual Turner, and since so little is known about his personal life, it hasn't been easy, but that is a movie that you shouldn't miss. Tomorrow I'm seeing Brad Pitt in Fury.
That's supposed to have quite good reviews.
It has indeed, and also you must see Benedict Cumberbatch in The Imitation Game. It's a tribute, a flawed tribute as a movie, but Cumberbatch's performance as Alan Turing, the genius.
The code cracker.
Yes, broke the code, and that is a movie that reminds you of what he was able to achieve. And currently, 71 is extremely good. Alex O'Connell, who was so good in Startup, really fine performance. And Effie Gray, there's a rather charming movie, scripted by Emma Thompson. It's had legal problems, and it isn't a movie that a large number of people want to go and see. But this is about the mistress of John Ruskin, or the wife of Ruskin, and also later of the painter Millet, and that's got Dakota Fanning in it. So there's a huge variety of movies to see, both on at the moment and also, of course, coming.
Richard, really nice to talk to you again. Thank you very much. The excellent Richard Fitzwilliams, who is the best film critic of all time.
Darlaston,
Edgbaston,
Erdington,
Paisley, Gornal Wood. Have your say across the West Midlands.
BBC WM 95.6.
Sue's on the line. Morning, Sue.
Good morning, Ian.
Oxo, is it a gravy or a drink?
Well, when I was a child, we used to have it as a drink. I haven't actually drunk Oxo for years.
Well, I can tell you now that Bernie and producer Joe have very kindly made me a cup of Oxo.
Yes.
And it's here in front of me.
Have you sipped it yet?
No, I've sniffed it. It just smells like roast beef.
Yeah, well, it's... When I was little, and
I'm going to have some now.
Towards the end of the week,
yes,
you know, money was getting tight.
She'd have a bit of Oxo.
My mother would make us... She used to make fun of things, make food fun, even if we hadn't got very much.
Fun food.
And she'd make us Oxo and give us bread to dip in it.
Right.
And that would be like a lunchtime
Well, I'm going to try
meal.
I'm going to try and drink some of this now, Sue.
Okay.
It does. It smells of roast beef. It smells like cheap roast beef.
Yeah. Are you having a big gulp of it?
Hey, do you know what?
It tastes nice.
That's not bad, actually. Hey, that's not bad.
I mean, it's something like Bovril.
It's gravy. Let's be honest. I'm drinking gravy, but it's quite nice.
Yes, but like your other callers have said, I wouldn't want gravy that thin on my food.
Well, do you know what? That's reminding me of my nanny Peg and having a roast dinner on a Sunday in South London. South London. That's nice, Sue.
Yes, well.
I could have some of that.
That's all right then.
You've reminded me of bread and dripping. Is that what they used to call it? Dripping.
Oh yeah, I would never eat dripping.
Why?
Oh no, I just couldn't bring myself to eat dripping.
Well, it's just the fat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to love it on a Sunday.
My father used to love the dripping.
On a Sunday, when in the 70s, when my grandparents would come over, right, for a Sunday roast, we would have on the coffee table, we'd have two bowls, one filled with peanuts.
Yeah.
And one filled with little chunks, little cubes of cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
And about half an hour before the dinner was served, Mum would come in with a plate full of bread and dripping. Oh, beautiful!
I know, that's what my father used to say.
Yeah. Sue, lovely to talk to you. Last 25 minutes of the show. We've not got any calls. Is what I'm saying to you, dear listeners. So if you want to call, now is an excellent time. This Oxo gravy drink, it's not bad. I can imagine it repeating on me a little bit later on. Yeah, it does taste like beef crisps. Beef crisps, it's easy for you to say. 03453 009956 is the telephone number. Should you wish to give us a call. Here's something. We talk about expensive property. London is stupid when it comes to property. What are house prices like in Birmingham in the city? I bet they're a bit pricey as well, aren't they? Won't be anything like London prices. London's crazy property market has hit new heights, with estate agents... And let me just describe this building, OK? It's like an old-fashioned garage. It's like a prefab garage. You could fit... Well, you could probably fit a car in there. Probably fit one car in there. It's horrible. It's a mess. It's disgusting. It's dirty. London's crazy property market has hit new heights, with estate agents inviting offers of around £550,000. Over £500,000 for this run-down garage. Are you sure? The thing is, some idiot will buy it. That's nearly 3 times the average price of a family home outside the capital. Making the price tag possible... Oh, here we go. It's a 538 square foot lockup. It's just off the King's Road in swanky Chelsea. Swanky Chelsea. I can't imagine anything worse than living in swanky Chelsea. Who'd want to live somewhere where people are swanking around? It's horrible around there. The thing is, though, I bet they knock that down. You can make a 2-bedroom house out of that. And you could sell that for... 2 million, 2.5 million. It's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it? The world's gone nuts. We've got some fella in the paper talking about going to heaven. Someone's prepared to buy a lockup for over £500,000. I tell you who's going nuts. I'm Andy Murray. I won the tennis. My name's Andy Murray. I'm really happy to say I just won £10 million on the tennis. I'm really happy. Sounds happy then, Murray. I'll tell you why he's not happy. A, because his form has finished and he'll never be good at tennis again. B, because Scotland voted no or yes, whatever the right answer was. And C, because his mum's doing what all mums do. She's embarrassing him by dancing badly. Except when your mum does it, when my mum does it, it's at a family wedding or it's at the kid's birthday party. She's doing it on telly in front of 12 million people. So imagine how embarrassed you are at your Uncle John's 3rd wedding, right? And your mum gets up after a few sherries and does a boogie, and you think, oh, for God's sakes, Mum. Times that. How many people will be there? 100. Times that by 12 million. No, that'll be 100. Times it by 6 million. Anyway, there's 12 million people watching her do that. Andy Murray begs Mum, please don't do sexy. She can't. She can't do sexy. It's like watching Pinocchio dance, isn't it? Celebrity contestant Judy Murray has promised to unleash her saucy side on... Oh, please don't. I don't want to see her saucy side. Has promised to unleash her saucy side on Strictly Come Dancing. And at least one person will be glad he's not watching. Listen to this, Steve.
Hello.
Hello, Steve. Listen to this. Her tennis superstar son, Andy, has previously promised to be supportive, but he's begged her with a groan, please don't be sexy, Mum, I don't want you to be sexy. Judy, 55, will attempt a fiery tango on tonight's show with her professional partner, Anton de Beek. Do you know what Anton de Beek's real name is?
It's probably Ian Lee's, because he goes around as if he's God as well.
No, it's Tony Beek. Is his real name. Anton de Beek's name is Tony Beek.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. That's quite interesting. I'll put that away because it may come up in some sort of trivia quiz.
Well, you never know. Listen, this is how I won the Weakest Link and Mastermind, Steve, by knowing stuff like this. I won Mastermind. I won a plastic.
Got a couple of features. Hang on. You're running the programme.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me just finish Steve, let me just finish the sentence, then you can come in. It's only man, isn't it? I won a plastic trophy which now sits...
I'm glad you know what the word means.
I won a plastic trophy that now sits on my mother's windowsill that says Mastermind Champion. Imagine that. Full stop. Over to you.
Okay then, right. Let's start off. There's several points. I'm in the house and I'm painting away and I'm thinking...
What, you're painting?
painting the ceiling as opposed to painting a picture.
Brilliant. What colour are you going for? White?
Hang on, you were talking about manners. Let me do the talking, you do the listening. That's part of the conversation, Ian.
I know, Ian. Part of the conversation is that someone pretends to be interested when someone's saying something really boring. So I'm just asking, what colour are you painting your ceiling, Steve?
I'm painting it white, thank you.
Beautiful. There we go. Okay, calm down. Don't be defensive. Right, it's a good colour for a ceiling.
Let's start with God. I don't think, I'm like you, I don't think there is a God. And, however, the reason why I think you don't believe there's a God is because God appears on Radio WM between 9 o'clock on a Saturday and 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock. And that's probably why you don't believe in God. Now, if there is a God up there...
I don't know what that means. I know you're having a pop, Steve, but I don't know I don't quite get your point.
Well, you are like a child in a playground.
Am I God or a child in a playground? Which one?
Bit of both.
Okay.
Just give me time.
Okay.
The word was manners that you used a few minutes ago.
I know, but that was just before you insulted me, Steve. So, and I don't quite understand the insult.
It's about a conversation. One person talks and another person listens.
At what point? At what point after you insulting me am I allowed to question what the insult? I don't get the insult, Steve. That's all.
Okay, you will in a minute.
Okay, good luck.
When or if there is a God, and just make sure when I do appear in heaven or when I do appear up there, make sure there's some spicy tomato-flavoured snaps ready for me because...
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Well, I want some food when I go to heaven.
Steve, I just
want to make sure there's spicy tomato snaps.
Oh, okay,
You've
Steve.
never heard of spicy tomato snaps?
I don't know why you're telling me.
Well, just make sure. Going on about films...
Okay, so you've done Steve, hang on, one point at a time, because you're right, it's a conversation, so it goes back and forth. That's the way these things work. And I'm happy to educate you on that. So the insult was, I think I'm God, but I'm also a child in the playground. Yeah, I'll take both of those. I'll go with those. Right, next one.
Well, you sit there upon this ivory tower, you throw things out. Yeah. When people try and explain and people try and talk, you try and manipulate the people.
No, I don't, Steve. I have a conversation.
They can come round to your way of thinking.
Yeah, it's called. That's what. Well, yeah, that's what arguments are. You're trying to convince people that your point of view is right. That's what it is, Steve.
Well, it's about respecting the other person's views.
But I can still respect the other person's view. Give me an example, because I'm confused. Give me an example from this morning.
An example this morning. Well, people are phoning in and saying this film is such and such. Like, you turn around and one of the things that you did say was that...
Rocky was rubbish.
Hang on. Dad's Army. You said Dad's Army was a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
Several people have phoned up and have said Dad's Army's okay.
Right.
Now, you have tried to persuade these people that Dad's Army and also 40 Powers is a load of rubbish. The only good programmes are the ones that you like.
In my opinion.
We move on.
Steve,
let's move on. Let's talk about
No,
films.
hang on a second. No, because I'm not going to let you do a hit and run. You've made a point and let me address it. Well, if you're getting upset...
You won't let me do a hit and run.
No.
Ian, you throw the grenade in the room on numerous occasions, and then when the opportunity comes, you just cut the person off.
No. I'm not having that. I don't cut the person off. I don't do that. I let them make their point and stay. I'm not one of those that cuts them off. That's incorrect, and I won't have that. But, Steve, if you're getting upset because I don't you're getting upset because I don't like Dad's Army.
You're the last person that would upset me, my dear.
Steve, you've come on. You're throwing these insults around because I don't like Dad's Army. Flipping heck. If you don't like the show, Steve, go and listen to Heart for 3 hours.
Well, I have, and I don't like Heart. That's why I come and listen to you, because I actually like listening to you.
Oh, dear. But you just want to phone up and have a whinge.
I'm not... Whinge? Anything like that.
Oh, Steve...
But anyway, let me name some films. Kes. What about Kes as a film? A classic. Hello? Calling Mindy. Are you there?
Steve, not working for me today, mate.
Okay, man.
03453 009956. If you don't... I don't get this. Right, Howard Stern's got a great quote. The people that like me listen for 20 minutes. The people that hate me listen for an hour. And I don't get it. If you don't like it, go and listen to Heart. Go and listen to some good... What's on Radio 4 now? Some good stuff on Radio 4. Go and listen to that. Don't get upset. Steve, calm down. Just because I don't like Dad's Army. Blimey. Thank you for the call, Steve. Always appreciated. Good to know you're listening. 03453 009956 is the telephone number. If you want to send me a cheeky text, you can do. Ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. Who's on at midday? Is Daz on today at midday? Daz is on at midday. OK, excellent stuff. Never quite sure Oh, Susan's getting stroppy now. And you do cut people off. You've done it to me for 2 weeks in the truck. I did it today, Susan, because we were hitting the travel. So I do it then when I've got a junction. Oh, everyone's having a pop. Have I got to explain the workings of the radio show? If I'm hitting a junction, then yeah, I kind of have to be honest. But generally, I let people come on and say what they want, don't I? The rubbish that people have come on and spouted this morning. Someone came on and said that he thought that Rocky was one of the best 8 films of all time. I mean, really? BBC WM 95.6. Let's get the travel. Here's Liz.
Ian, thank you. It's still very congested in Wolverhampton city centre as you head inbound, in particular, along Willenhall Road, the A454. It's not helped by the closure of Bilston Street Island. The eastern side of the roundabout is shut all weekend. Buses are being diverted. They can't go all the way around the island either, but it's causing an awful lot of congestion as you head around there. The M42 is heavy going, 5 towards 6. That's towards the junction of Birmingham Airport, the A45, the NEC. There's a major event going on at the NEC today, and as you head to Great Bark, Queslett Road junction with the A34, that's congested on all approaches. Into Birmingham, Hagley Road is busy again, this time passing Monument Road as you head inbound in particular. It's still rather snarly around the Dudley Southern Bypass, that's the A461 on the outskirts of Dudley between Cinderbank and Castlegate Island in either direction. Your match day travel, you better get a wiggle on. Villa fans going to Everton up the M6 and the M62. It's going to take you a good hour and a half or so, but traffic seems to be good along those motorway routes. South on the M6 towards the M1, then the M25. Wolves fans going to Millwall for the game, and you'll find quite a bit of congestion heading into London from the M25 and onto the A12. If you can update us, call BBC WM 95.6 travel 08453 002288.
Ian Lee
On BBC WM
95.6.
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
03453 009956 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I say us, I mean me. Trying to compile the top 8 films of all time. We've got some Trinian's film in there. How did that happen? Ways to keep warm, and we were speaking about this car park, garage, is that what you call it? Off the King's Road in London. That's over £500,000. Can you believe that, Neil?
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
I'm all right, Neil. What you got for us?
Okay, Ian. Yeah, a couple of things. A movie that I really liked was With the Best Years of Our Lives. It's an old movie, but it's great.
Oh, I've not heard of that. Who's in that?
It was 1946. It's going back a few years. It was with Dana Andrews and Myrna Loy. Oh, it was brilliant.
Well, I've never even heard of those actresses. It sounds fantastic. I love a good old film. Is it black and white?
It's black and white, and it's sort of in the era of Claude Rains. You know Claude Rains?
Yeah, of course.
It's that sort of era.
It sounds like the sort of film that would be perfect to watch on a Tuesday afternoon when it's chucking it down with rain at 2 o'clock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, well, the point I actually called up about was this. I actually do a bit of work in the United States.
I can tell by your accent. You've picked up that American accent.
Yeah, thank you. And over the past 5 years, I've got into the rental business, even though I'm based here in England.
Yeah.
I work for a big airline, by the way. But
free flights?
I'm sorry?
Free flights?
free flights for me.
Good lad. Well, no, yes, well done. No, as should be, yes.
Okay, anyway. So what I've done is I've got into the rental business, and I actually got into it by accident. A friend of mine had a house. I bought the house for £5,000.
Yeah.
It's in a low-income area, and what I've done is this over the years. I bought a few more, and they have something in America called Section 8 housing, like a low-income housing voucher that they give low-income people. And once you actually go on the course, it only takes a couple of hours, actually. They just give you the induction. And then what you do then is put the house up for Section 8, so the government pays you. The government pays the person's rent.
And so what? That's like social housing?
It's like social housing, and they actually... all different states in America have it. All different cities have it. And what you do is enroll in the program. So if you have a 2-bedroom house, as I had initially, and they give you the fair market value, you go out and buy and find a tenant. As long as the tenant is enrolled in Section 8 housing, the government, the United States government, which is the taxpayer, pays the rent.
So how much money are you making off the back of that first house you bought for £5,000?
I rented out for $650 a month, $650 a month.
Hey, so
I've had the house now for about 4 years.
So in a year, you've made profit?
Oh, of course. I think somebody figured out, I've got a friend of mine who's into maths, there's a 63% year on your return. Since then, I bought quite a few other properties. I have about 5. And I bought a condo for $10,000. And again, I do the same thing. I live here in the United Kingdom, so when I'm back there, I just make sure, everything's okay.
Could you lend us a tenner?
I could lend you, yeah. Yeah, I could lend you more than a tenner.
It's sweet,
I don't know what I'll do. I've got like $6 in my pocket now. I can hand you... Well, sure.
When I said a tenner, I meant English pounds, not your American nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is this, is when I look at the house prices in England, even where I'm from, like in the Halzo in Hagley area, Stourbridge, what you get for your money is absolutely outrageous. It's so expensive here.
Oh, it's crazy.
I don't know how anybody ever makes it.
It's crazy. It needs, and let's get serious for a second, it needs the housing bubble, and not just in London, across the whole country, it needs to burst. We need to reset the clock and get houses at a proper, rational price, because it's insane at the moment.
It is insane. Ian, what do you think an average three-bedroom house in this area should actually be worth then?
Do you know, I don't know the market here particularly well. I would need to have a little look. I have to have a think about it. But I'm sure it will be it would be worth a lot less than they're being sold for.
Correct.
Neil, listen, thank you very much indeed. David's in Erdington. Morning, Dave.
Morning, Owen. You all right?
I'm all right, fella. What you got?
I've got two films.
Yeah.
That's all right. One you've probably seen and one that you probably haven't seen.
Go on.
The one I think you've seen is called The Odd Couple. That's the original one.
Oh, yeah, The Odd Couple. It's a classic film.
Yeah, I think that's quite funny and timeless, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
The other film is one directed by Shane Meadows, who directed in England.
Yeah.
And it's a film called Dead Man's Shoes.
Dead Man's Shoes. No, do you know, I'm going to let you go, Dave, just because the line is awful. Dead Man's Shoes. I think I've seen that, and I think that's a good film. Terrible line, David. Sorry about that, but thank you. Paul in Birmingham. Yeah, this is about heaven. Many years. Got loads of texts. Sorry, I put these to one side and mislaid them. Metab, stay there. Be with you in a second. Many years ago, when I was with my previous church and the PCC and the PCC away day, I don't know what that means. We were singing hymns, and I had a vision of the silver white panelled decorated gates of heaven that curved away in the distance, going on forever. Sunbeds. Carl says, my ex-wife would have a sunbed 3 times a week. I saw her lately as she's so pale she thinks she realises the problems that come from it. Ian, you come out with some rubbish. You're saying you've got a mate now? Come on, I heard your nickname is Billy. Best film, Spice World, the movie. I told my nephews and nieces over the years that Grandad and Nan are stars in the sky. Ian, from that piece you read out, heaven sounds like a Beatles film. It does, doesn't it, Deb? Best film is The Long Good Friday with Bob Hoskins. I didn't really like The Long Good Friday. I thought it was a little bit. Are you a fan of the Long Good Friday, Daz?
Long Good Friday's a decent movie.
It's all right, and it's a bit dated, I think.
Has anybody said Sixth Sense?
No one said Sixth Sense.
I enjoyed it. And the twist at the end of Sixth Sense, by the way, is that Bruce Willis gets through the whole movie without wearing a white vest.
I think Bruce Willis is brilliant.
Well, Pulp Fiction was fantastic as well, wasn't it? Because he was in that with John Travolta. I love that. I love Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I've not seen Pulp Fiction for a long time. I wonder if it stands the test of time.
Has anyone said Carry On Cleo? That's a classic.
No, mate,
You've got to have a bit of Carry On in there.
I hate the Carry On films.
Can you not do a Sid James laugh?
Well, it turns out you can't. I hate the Carry On films. Oh, dear.
Hey, you've got a fan, by the way, because you've been getting some stick this morning. Gracie, my daughter, says hello.
Oh, I love Gracie. How's she doing?
She's doing great, yeah. We were listening to you last Friday, and she was on. I was picking her up from school, and one of your talking points last Friday was unusual places you've had a wee-wee, which you thought was fantastic. And
that's the age group we're aiming for, Daz.
Actually, for me, we took unusual places you've had a wee. The swimming pool, the swimming baths, right? Oh. And I got caught, and the lifeguard blew his whistle, and I was so startled I almost fell in.
Every week I get suckered into it, and I think he's going to be telling us a story, and he's having a... Oh, Daz. They still let you broadcast on this station, don't they?
They do, from time to time, yeah. I'm on it this afternoon. I didn't have... I weren't here last Saturday because it was international break, so I had a break as well. But today, we're live
and boy, oh boy, you shouldn't take too many breaks because Goldberg filled in for you.
Class act.
He is a brilliant broadcaster.
Class act.
Brilliant broadcaster, so be careful.
Yeah. Is he filling in for you soon?
I hope not. You always, when you're doing this job, you always hope they get someone who's a little bit worse than you to fill in for you, because otherwise the audience goes, hang on a second, that other guy's really good. So I'm hoping they ask you to do it. Now, Dad, what's...
Yeah, well, after midday today, I'm live at St Andrews. We've got the Blues game against Bolton this afternoon on DAB in the Birmingham area. Our FM commentary is Millwall against Wolves, the return of Kenny Jackett to the Den. We've got coverage as well of Everton against Villa, of Walsall against Crewe. So all the big match build-up starts at midday, plenty of banter, some great music as well. And amongst the things we're going to be talking about after 12, if you want to get calling on 03453 00 9956. One of them, just simply, who's the best player you've ever seen live? Have you ever seen Stanley Matthews or Georgie Best, or maybe it's someone who played for your club? And also today, Ian, we're putting together a dream team of footballers whose names are also occupations.
Oh, that's a good one, isn't it?
Let's see how we get on with that.
I don't know any footballers, otherwise I'd join in the fun. Daz, thank you very much. That's Daz on in 5 minutes' time.
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country. BBC WM
95.6.
I've just realised that my whole life has been a mistake, because I have just been... it turns out OXO's a drink. I have been making gravy with just OXO and kind of thinking, it's a bit thin. You just put more... No, you just put more granules in. That's what I've been doing. You put more granules in to thicken it up. Oh, I'm not buying... Metab.
Hi there.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yes, not bad, thank you.
This OXO's repeating on me. So I apologise. Anyway, go on. Go on, what have you got?
Just about the movies you were talking about earlier on. You had a gentleman on who was talking about old movies, and you had a list.
Yes.
Don't Be a Menace in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
Yeah.
It is an actual movie.
Is it really?
It is, yeah. It's an actual movie. It stars the Wayans brothers.
Oh, them.
And it's a spoof version of, I believe it's Boys in the Hood.
Is it any good? Because I remember there was a big rush of spoof films in the 80s on the back of Airplane and Naked Gun. And a lot of these spoof films are rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a spoof. It's just pure chaos, really, just madness in the film. But it's a spoof take on the Boys in the Hood film.
Okay, well apparently it's the seventh best film of all time, according to the listeners today.
It's quite funny, but it's I suppose you've got to laugh at that sort of humour. But yeah, it is an actual film.
Metab, thank you very much indeed. Now listen, I'm going to change the list a little bit. Because at number one, we've got the Great St Trinian's train robbery. That smacks of desperation. And Carolyn has emailed in, of course this film should be number one. Brief Encounter. Oh, yeah, exactly. Brief. If you've not seen Brief Encounter, it really is. That's number one. The number one film. It really is just wonderful. I'm terribly, terribly sorry. It's wonderful. That's what film... Shall we go through the list of the top 8 films on the back of the fact that Michael Owen has only seen 8 films? What does he do? I suppose he could be busy reading books. Yeah, you heard producer Joe laughing through the double glass there. He's probably reading loads of books and ain't got time for films because he's reading so many books and doing maths homework and stuff. Yeah, playing the piano and the violin and the harmonium. So these are our top 8 films as suggested by you. So you don't have a go at me if you don't agree. Number 8, in reverse order, The Italian Job, the original. Number 7, what we just heard Metab saying there. Don't be a menace to South City Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Number 6, Back to the Future 2. It's definitely the best. 3's rubbish. Number 5 is South Pacific. Number 4 is Ghostbusters 2. Number 3, Drink Your Milk, starring John... I don't think that's an actual film. I think that was a quote from him, wasn't it? Number 2, Mary Poppins, and I have decided, because as someone rightfully said, I am God, Brief Encounter at number 1. That is a 2 o'clock on a rainy afternoon film to watch. Isn't it brilliant? That's what film's all about. We used to make... Trevor Howard, there's an interesting character. Boy, he had a checkered life. I think he liked a little bit of booze. I think he became a little bit boozy towards the end, which is a shame because he's brilliant, Trevor Howard. That's proper acting, isn't it? That's proper acting. I think I've been through... Amy says, morning, Ian. I've got some beef with you regarding the beefy drink OXO. OXO cubes are used to make a hot drink the same as Bovril. Bisto is used to make gravy. However, you could be getting confused because I think OXO now make instant gravy granules. How's them apples? It's so... I think I've been serving... I've virtually been pouring a cup of tea on the roast dinners I've been cooking and serving that up and suggesting that were gravy. My whole life has been a lie. I'm horribly embarrassed. Listen, that's it. That's your lot for today. Do you know what? We did hardly... I think we did one of the stories we were planning to do. And that's the joy of it. We can go off on tangents like that if you want. Joe and I will be back next Friday, 2 till 4. We do every Friday, 2 till 4. If you missed yesterday's show, it was fun yesterday. Load of old nonsense. You can listen again on the BBC iPlayer. If you want to see me hula hooping, and who wouldn't? Facebook.com/BBCWM. Send me an email in the week, ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. That's it from me. I'm going to shut up now, and after this, you're going to hear the dulcet tones of Mr. Daz Hale.
The voice of Birmingham and the Black Country.
BBC WM 95.6.
Thanks very much then, Iain. So coming up next then, we start our build-up to all the big games in early kick-off with me, Daz Hale. Today, tell me about the best player you have ever seen live. And we want footballers whose names are also occupations. 03453